Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome. Monday, June the 5th, 2023. We are live on the Daily Crow. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Excited to chat with you all because South Carolina are the champions of the Columbia Regional, and this is a Victory Monday. A Victory Monday of all Mondays. And also, it's Go Texas Tech today here on this Monday. I see Will Hall, Travie, Austin, Gregory, GA, Brennan M., Stephanie Lee, Ethan, KC, what's going on? Jeff Gullidge also those in the Big Cock Club Discord. Head over to the TDC Questions channel, the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered there. We're going to appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Of course, as always, I'm Chris Phillips, your host of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. We're going to appreciate each and every single one of you as I get this, guys, and I appreciate your patience. I forget to do this every single day, our post on social media to let folks know we have gone live on the Daily Crow. It's something I'm still getting in the hang of, getting in the loop of, if you will, because this is obviously a new thing for us. We got a lot to get into, a lot to discuss, guys. Hour number 3, we're taking your questions, your comments, your calls, so be sure to flood the text line, flood the voicemail line if you cannot call in that third hour. Also, of course, flood the YouTube chat, because, again, we'll get in all those questions, comments, and your calls in our third hour, our power hour, if you will. In our second hour, we got my good friend Mark Rogers, the voice of college football. We will talk some college baseball with Mark, though, of course, guys. We got to talk college baseball, everything that happened over the weekend. But touching on some of this 8-game versus 9-game SEC schedule stuff. The SEC now, of course, is set on the 8-game SEC schedule with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma. So getting his thoughts on that, the way it changes things or the way it impacts South kind of football, if you will, and all of his thoughts on college football, guys, everything in between. And, of course, we got some things to get into, things to discuss on this Victory Monday. Really appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, guys. Like I said, let's see. Let's get this post out really quick so folks know that we have gone live. Again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Really, really excited for what we got on board today, guys. A normal schedule this week, by the way. TDC rocking noon to 3. Of course, all the podcast content will drop in the afternoons at 5 p.m. Eastern. 5 p.m. Eastern is when that content will drop via the Spurs Up Show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Again, that's iTunes, I can't even say it. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. I'm trying to do too many things at once right now. Let's see. I should have had this done beforehand. There we go. Okay. All right. Now, there we go. Now it's just getting it published. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry on the delay. Again, just getting this link out there so folks on Twitter, on Facebook, everybody knows that we have gone live here on the Daily Crow. And, guys, what a weekend it was in Columbia, as the Gamecocks are Columbia Regional champions. Also, guys, podcast did drop this morning. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much to those of you who tuned in to the Rowdy Rooster rundown last night. Thank you all so much, man, for the continued love and support. Of course, that podcast dropped this morning at 5 a.m. Eastern for all of my morning commuters. Again, appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, guys. We got a packed show, lot to get into. Like I mentioned, we are live normal this week, noon to 3. All of our guests are expected to be on as scheduled. We've got guests every single day. And of course, guys, we will have full coverage, breaking everything down, previewing everything as we go into the weekend, as South Carolina is super regional bound, and they will be potentially hosting a super regional this weekend at Founders Park, depending on the outcome of today's game between Florida and Texas Tech. First pitch of that game happening right now. If the Gators do win, South Carolina will travel down to Gainesville to take on Florida at their place in a best-of-3 in the super regional. If Texas Tech is able to get the W today. South Carolina will host the Super at Founders Park against the Red Raiders. So I want to make it clear, by the way, some people on social media thought, oh, why don't you want to play Florida? You're scared of Florida. It's not about being scared of Florida. It's wanting to see super regional baseball at Founders Park. I don't think that's a really hard thing to grasp. So anyways, of course, a close eye on that ballgame. By the end of the Daily Crow, we'll have a really good idea on whether South Carolina will be hosting the super regional or not. But again, guys, thank you all so much. I see you all tuned in the comments. Austin Gregory, can't wait to smoke the Mark Ryan pack after Florida loses. Yeah, will be nice. Again, guys, I see you all in the chat. Thank you all so much for the continued love and support. That being said, let's go ahead and dive into everything. As really on this Monday, we're just continuing the celebration from the weekend that was. Gamecocks dominate, and I mean dominate, the Columbia Regional in all 3 games. Central Connecticut State, gone. NC State, gone. And then, of course, the Campbell Camels yesterday, gone. And this season, man, I mean, it's not even over. It's not even remotely close to over. But you look at it at this point and the roller coaster that it has been. It's crazy, right? The ups and the downs for the first 40 games. You could have argued this was the best team in all of college baseball. I mean, and it was a realistic argument because of the body of work at that point. Over the last 4 weeks, you could have argued this team maybe didn't even deserve to host a regional. And some people thought they were gifted it, right? Some people thought they shouldn't have hosted. Many who come on these airwaves, many thought the Yardcocks did not deserve to host. So to say this season has been up and down is putting it lightly, for sure. But as we sat here this time last week, and late last week, we brought up the conversation, Mark Kingston's job status. It was one of those things you could not ignore. You could not avoid. The job status of Mark Kingston was one of those leading storylines because we all knew what the feeling, what the mood, what the reaction was going to be if the Gamecocks got booted in their own regional at home at Founders Park. And so that was a topic of discussion all week last week. And you know what? I said it. I said it in the preseason, said it throughout the season, and I think most of us agreed. Maybe the expectations changed ever so slightly because of what the first 40 games showed us, but I stand by what I said in the preseason. Super regionals or bust for Mark Kingston at South Carolina. Super regionals or bust in this 2023 season. And if he was able to guide this Gamecocks team to a super regional, he should be back as head coach in 2024. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached that point. And Mark Kingston has successfully brought South Carolina back to the Super Regionals. The first time it's happened since 2018, ironically enough, his first season as Gamecocks head coach. Do I think Mark Kingston is a perfect head coach? No, I do not. Does he make questionable in-game decisions? Yes, he does. But guys, nobody is going to be Ray Tanner. I think that's the thing that this fan base has to accept. Nobody's going to be Ray Tanner. Nobody most likely is going to replicate what Ray Tanner did. Now, there is a set standard. There are set expectations, which are very clear-cut, and we all understand that. That is for certain, right? That is for certain. But the goal this season was super regionals or bust. Also, I'll throw this in. You can't fire a coach after they make the supers. You just can't do it. Because then you're really, truly setting an unfair precedent. The next guy's going to be like, damn, I make a super regional and they're going to want me fired? I make a super regional and my job's not safe? I'm 2 wins from Omaha and my job's not safe? So there's a number of reasons why Mark Kingston will be back, but I'm arguing to you that he should be back. We heard about injuries last year and nobody wanted to hear it. Myself included. Nobody wanted to hear that excuse. Right? So the last couple of weeks when you're hearing about injuries, we're not at full strength, nobody wanted to hear that excuse. But I tell you this, looking at this previous weekend, when you look at the level of play and the way that this team so much more resembled themselves over the first 40 games than what we saw over the last 4 weeks or so. What was evident to me was just, guys, it wasn't that a certain player got injured or two players got injured. It was the ripple effect from those injuries. Will McGillis goes down. That in itself hurts the ball club. Well, then Braylon Wimmer goes down. That makes this guy slide here. That makes this guy go from here in the lineup to here in the lineup. There were so many moving pieces and things that went awry over the last 4 weeks. And this, by the way, guys, this run, side note, this run we're seeing right now, South Carolina punching their ticket to the Supers, it's exactly why over the last 4 weeks of the season, I did not jump in and jump on the bandwagon and get back on the Fire Kingston train. I said, let's see it play out. Let's give them the opportunity to get healthy. Let's give Mark Kingston the opportunity to coach this team in the postseason. And I'm someone that I believe in giving credit when credit's due. I believe in keeping the energy consistent, whether things are going poorly or they're going well. You cannot just be there to say, fire the head coach, but when said head coach does a good job, you must also be there to tip your cap. You must also be there to give credit. And that's exactly what I'm doing here today. And that's really what I want to lead off with, because again, that was a huge storyline. Maybe it wasn't the number one storyline because we wanted to keep the focus on the field with the matchups and these teams and the beauty that is college baseball as a whole. But you'd be lying to yourself. You'd be lying to yourself if you said that that wasn't one of the main storylines. And of course, if the Gamecocks had not won the regional, it would be the top topic of conversation today. You think about over that last 4-week stretch as well, and I think this is something, again, we don't know because we're not in the locker room. We don't hear those conversations behind closed doors. We have no idea what's being said. But you think about the fact that this team really could have folded. I mean, this team really could have doubted themselves, right? And it goes beyond Mark Kingston. There's Monty Lee, there's Justin Parker, there's the entire staff. But let's face it, Mark Kingston gets all the credit and all the blame. As the head coach, you accept that when you take that job and you get that paycheck. To keep this thing together, to keep it from completely going off the rails, as tough as the last 4 weeks was. And I mean, guys, you think about the downfall and the landslide that this program and this team felt. To go from ranked number 3 in the country, right? To go from that to unranked in just 4 weeks' time, from that to unranked. And people realistically saying, hey, they should ship you to the Campbell Regional. You should be shipped to Fayetteville, North Carolina. And then to rally and to rebound. And I expected this ball club to approach this past weekend with great confidence. I expected this ball club to approach this past weekend with great energy, great resiliency. And so they won't talk about it. They won't bring it up, obviously, at the forefront, which I think is really interesting, the way that they are able to, number one, ignore it, and number two, that nobody who's in that room in the media is willing to ask, hey, do you feel any pressure on your job status? Nobody in there is willing to ask, which isn't really surprising. Nobody wants to ask those kind of questions. But it's something. I mean, the players, the coaches, everybody hears the chatter. They see it on social media. And so to do that for Mark Kingston, to respond in that way, and again, I'm not saying that Mark Kingston is perfect, right? When you look at the future of this South Carolina baseball program, there are more frustrating days ahead in the sense of like frustrating games, frustrating weekends. I mean, baseball is a frustrating game. It don't matter who your coach is. Hell, there were frustrating times under Ray Tanner. Who can forget 2009 losing in the regional, in the East Carolina regional, and folks were questioning, has Ray Tanner lost it as a head coach? So I can't sit here and promise to you that there will not be frustrating times. Is Mark Kingston going to win a national championship at South Carolina? I have no idea. Is he even going to get him to Omaha? Well, this weekend's going to tell us a lot. And if he doesn't get him, this year, I don't know. I mean, guys, I can't say for certain. But you know what the other thing we saw is, and I will stand by this, and I'm not sitting here taking credit for anything, but like Gamecock Nation as a whole You know what we've seen this season? And you know what, Carolina baseball, this is a great example of that. Really, truly, pressure makes diamonds. Pressure is a privilege, and pressure is a good thing. Having pressure to win and win at it's a positive, guys. It's a positive because it applies pressure. Hey, the entire fan base is applying pressure. Everyone around the program is applying pressure, right? And pressure, if utilized correctly, is a beautiful thing. And I thought this team did that this past weekend. And I thought Mark Kingston did that in the way that he managed, the way that he coached, right? Bringing in Eli Jones in the second game. He knew he had to get the W. He knew they had to secure that. Was it a questionable decision in the moment? Maybe so. And again, I am not saying that Mark Kingston is perfect at in-game decision-making. But what I am saying is that I said before this season, super regionals or bust. Those are my expectations. Those were the expectations that I set. Some of you changed those expectations. Some of you, not calling anybody out, but some of you moved the goalposts throughout the season. Now, will it be disappointing if this team with all this talent does not get to Omaha? Yes, of course it will. I mean, if you make it to the super regional round and you don't get to Omaha, of course that's disappointing, no doubt. But I don't think it's fair, guys, to say you don't make it to Omaha, he should be canned. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think even someone like myself who has extremely high expectations for South Carolina baseball, if you get to a point, if you get to a level where you start saying, if you don't make it to Omaha, you're getting fired. Even if you make it to super regionals, you're getting fired. Good luck finding someone to coach your program. Good luck finding someone to coach your ball club, right? Because it is extremely hard to get to Omaha. Extremely hard. Ask Ray Tanner. They didn't do it every year. They did it a lot. Don't get me wrong. But as I said earlier, Mark Kingston's not Ray Tanner. He's not. But nobody is going to be. It's like Florida football looking for the next Steve Spurrier. Nobody's Steve Spurrier, man. You just got to find the best possible fit for your program. And I understand, again, Mark Kingston at times, he's not the most fun in press conferences. He's not the most fun to listen to, if you will, right? There's things about Mark Kingston we nitpick and we don't exactly love. But the bottom line is this: the man has earned his way back next year. And you will not hear another word from me about coaching changes or hot seat or, God forbid, the Landon Powell chatter. That's going to have to wait another year, guys. But you won't hear it from me. You won't hear it from me. And I'm so happy to say that because I did not want the result of this season to be, well, I hope Mark Kingston gets fired at the end of the year. I hope we fall short of expectation, so we're looking for a new head coach. That was not at all what I wanted. This was the end result that I was hoping to see, and I'm happy for this ball club. I'm happy for this fan base, and I am indeed happy for Mark Kingston because I do want to believe that obviously he wants to win just as badly, if not even more so than we all do, because it's his job that's on the line, right? It's his livelihood on the line. And, he made the moves over the course of last offseason after that horrific under 500 year. He made those moves across the board, right? Bringing in Monty Lee, hitting the transfer portal hard. And, I mean, guys, those moves are a humongous part of the reason that South Carolina is in the position they are, punching their ticket to the Super Regionals for the first time since 2018. So, as I mentioned previously, keep the energy consistent, call for people's jobs, apply pressure. I encourage it, but be willing to, in this moment also, tip your cap and give credit where credit's due because Mark Kingston and company, they deserve a ton of credit for a job well done. Guys, that being said, let's jump into our first break of the day. On the other side, I want to continue to keep the conversation rolling here on this Monday. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. Attention all Gamecocks seafood lovers. Are you tired of searching for the freshest seafood in town? Look no further than the Carolina Fish Market, your go-to destination for the finest and most flavorful seafood in the Carolinas and beyond. Introducing the new Carolina Seafood Subscription Box, a culinary delight delivered right to your doorstep. Each month, you'll receive a carefully curated selection of fresh local seafood sourced directly from the waters of the Carolinas and beyond. From succulent shrimp to mouth-watering grouper to flounder or tuna and everything in between, their subscription box brings the ocean's bounty straight to your Gamecock kitchen. What sets the Carolina Fish Market apart is their commitment to quality and sustainability. They work closely with local fishermen and women who use responsible fishing practices, ensuring that every bite you take supports both your taste buds and our precious marine ecosystems. They've even won Best Seafood 5 out of the last 8 years. But that's not all. They're offering free shipping to all TSUS listeners on every Carolina seafood subscription box, making it even easier for you to indulge in the flavors of the coast. Experience the convenience and joy of having fresh seafood delivered right to your door without any of the hassle. Don't miss on this incredible opportunity to elevate your culinary adventures with the Carolina Fish Market's Carolina Seafood Subscription Box. Join the seafood enthusiasts across the nation who are savoring the taste of the Carolinas, one delectable bite at a time, and just in time for Father's Day. Visit their website today at carolinafishmarket.com. That's carolinafishmarket.com, and embark on a seafood journey like no other. Freshness, flavor, and convenience await you. Order your Carolina Seafood subscription box now and use the promo code SPURSUP, that's SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. Again, that's promo code SPURSUP, SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. The Carolina Fish Market, where taste meets the ocean.
Muscle doggy ho.
All right, guys, we're back here on this Monday, June the 5th, 2023. Going to appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. I arguably made the MVP of the weekend, Zane Denton, for what he did against the Clemsucks Tigers on Saturday night. What a weekend. I mean, any weekend where South Carolina is prosperous, and Clemson is wallowing in misery. That's a great weekend, man. I think we can all agree. That is a great weekend. By the way, I do want to highlight this because I just saw this over the break. My guy, Austin Ward, with the super chat, my friend. Thank you, Austin. We had a little bit of a dog pile bet indeed. We had a dog pile bet. We had a dog pile bet in the Discord. Had a dog pile bet in the Discord about whether South Carolina would dogpile or not. Whether South Carolina would dogpile or not. So, anyways, guys, I appreciate Austin for being a good sport with the dogpile bet. And, yeah, really good stuff. Also, I know some of you were keeping up with the Texas Tech and the Florida game. Texas Tech and Florida. Looks like it's 0-0 right now. So if y'all want to keep me updated, I do not have the game pulled up. So anyways, I do not have the game pulled up. So nothing. Anyways, let's keep the conversation going, guys, here on this Monday, June the 5th, 2023. Again, the Yardcocks take the Columbia Regional. Gamecocks are Columbia Regional champions. And I want to move the conversation. We just talked about Mark Kingston, and before, not looking too far ahead because we don't even know who South Carolina is going to play at this point. But when you look at what took place over the weekend, there's a lot of directions you can go when you talk storylines and top performers, and you look at the lineup. You score, 44 runs, I think it was, over a 3-game period. I think you hit like 360 or something like that as a ball club. I mean, your final game, you have 17 hits, 16 runs. And I know in that third game against Campbell, pitching wasn't exactly at a premium. 23 combined runs, 29 combined hits in that game. South Carolina, by the way, hit 357 in the regional, 13 extra base hits, on-base percentage of .507. South Carolina, how about this, did not record an error in the Columbia Regional, so defense was fantastic. What was also fantastic was the pitching. And you look at Will Sanders, and there were a number of guys who were good on the mound, but Will Sanders, what does South Carolina do with Will Sanders moving forward? It's been a very strange year for Will, right? Starting out in the preseason, he's thought to be a first-round pick, right? Thought to be a first-round pick out there. Preseason All-SEC, preseason All-American by some. Preseason All-American by some. And you look at Will Sanders over the weekend. Coming out of the bullpen, missed the last couple of weeks due to a lower body injury. Comes out Friday against Central Connecticut State. 2 innings pitched. Looks to be back in form. Again, you factor in the competition. It is the 4 seed CCSU Blue Devils. The performance from Will Sanders yesterday, though. 6 strikeouts in 3 innings pitched. 4 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts. And more importantly, you look at those strikeouts and you look at his performance. The stuff to me looks like it's back. The stuff looked like it was back. And the confidence, the excitement, the energy. I mean, you saw Will Sanders multiple times audibly screaming, getting fired up, excited for what just took place, right? He's obviously, it means a lot to him as a dude that has really gone through a tough season and has battled adversity. Right? A tough season and has battled adversity. So the question now to me becomes this. What does South Carolina do with Will Sanders entering the Supers? Because the obvious off the top of your head is just, maybe do they move him back to starting rotation? I like Matthew Becker a lot. Right now, after what I saw, I'd probably take Will Sanders in that spot. Do they go Hicks Mahoney again in games 1 and 2? Also, what you have to factor in is depending on the opponent. Does that impact does that impact what they do in this series, right? Because we saw Will Sanders against Florida earlier this year, and he shoved. And he mentioned after the game, I hate Florida. He does not like Florida because of some things in his high school career. They didn't offer him. They didn't look at him, whatever. He says, I hate Florida. Not a fan of Florida. Do you give Will Sanders the opportunity to start in Gainesville? Also, by the way, and something I really just thought about looking at this, Will Sanders actually got the save, believe it or not, guys, in the game yesterday because of the length he pitched. Could Will Sanders be a guy you move to the back end of the bullpen? I mean, I know Chris Veach has been really good there for you, but Will Sanders has stuff that Chris Veach cannot challenge. And maybe against a team like Florida, or especially you just go to Omaha and you face some of the high caliber offenses you'll go up against, that might not be a bad proposition. How do they handle Will Sanders moving forward? I think the other thing you have to keep in mind is he in the physical shape to go out there and throw 7, 8 innings, even 6 innings? Is he in that physical shape? Through 3 yesterday, right? Through 3 yesterday and what? Through 1 on Friday. Through 1 on Friday, 2 or 3 yesterday. So is he in the shape to go out and throw 6, 7 innings? Do they stick with the normal rotation? Again, this is something we'll talk later in the week. This is something we'll obviously talk later in the week. But it is very interesting to see how they're going to handle Will Sanders. Because I could see him being a very nice piece at the back end of the bullpen. Also, he could be a bridge guy. You start James Hicks, let him go 5 or 6, let Will Sanders close it out. But I think there's some value in bringing him back as a starter. And I guess the question will be like, do you wait till game 3? Do you wait till game 2? I think it's very intriguing. Me personally, if he's physically capable, if you get the Florida Gators, I like him starting game 2. I like him starting game 2. I would love to see Will Sanders, maybe, and the injury obviously wasn't a good thing, but maybe that break was the reset he needed. Because the stuff to me, guys, over the weekend, you can talk about who the competition was, but the way he was attacking the zone, the way the stuff was biting, the sharpness of the stuff, that was as good as he's looked, in my opinion, all season long. That was as good as he's looked all season long. The breaking ball I thought was fantastic. Fastball had great life. Again, he was pitching, you could tell, with extreme confidence, with energy. He was pitching with conviction, which is very, very important. So Will Sanders is definitely a guy. And we talked about it in the preseason, right? If South Carolina was going to maximize their potential, they would need Will Sanders, the best version of Will Sanders. They would need the best version of him. And it looked like in that last performance, in that last outing, that you may be very close to getting it. You may be very, very close to getting it. So, do they move him in a closer role? Do they move him a back into the bullpen role? Do they move him to a starter role? Because I think it's one of those things now, guys. You don't go into the Super Regional saying, well, if Will Sanders pitches. Will Sanders, because even with his struggles this year, he has some of the best stuff on this staff. And obviously, you don't take Jack Mahoney out the rotation. But do you slide James Hicks back to his bullpen role? I know he threw really well, Central Connecticut State, but I know he threw really well. And he threw great in that SEC tournament. So I got no problem leaving James Hicks there. What do you do with Eli Jones also? How does that factor in Eli Jones? And the good news is I don't think you have to have this figured out right now. This is kind of one of those things. You go into game 1, you do everything you can to win game 1. You go into game 2, you do everything you can to win game 2. It's not necessarily something you have to have figured out. It's not something you have to have figured out. So, Will Sanders can help this ball club. How does he help this ball club? I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Mark Kingston, Justin Parker, how do they position these pieces, and does the opponent affect who they decide to go with? How does the opponent affect who they decide to go with? I think if it's Florida, I think we know what not what has to happen, but I'm down to see Will Sanders run it back. I'm down to see Will Sanders, especially against that lineup. It's a really potent lineup. I mean, they are capable 1 through 9, and he showed you kind of a dicey first inning, but he got out of it and he dominated in that game. We also know for certain he can help you out in the bullpen. He can absolutely 110% help you out in the bullpen. So, excited to see how they do that because, again, Mark Kingston, Justin Parker, they got decisions to make, and Will Sanders is a key piece of this ball club that, if South Carolina is going to get to Omaha, they're going to maximize their potential. I think Will Sanders still has to be a big piece of what this ball club does. Guys, that being said, we're going to jump into a quick break. Really quickly, guys. I don't normally, let's see. Yeah, be sure you leave your voicemails now. We will take those in our Q&A power hour. And I encourage everybody in the comments, everybody to call in. Everybody to call in, please. I encourage everybody to call in. Really quickly, I don't normally address such things, but I will go out of my way to say this. I've never threatened a baseball player. I did not threaten Roman Kimball. I'll keep this short and sweet. I was sent about a 3.5 or so minute screen recording of Roman Kimball. Sounded like he was out and about downtown, just talking shit on TSUS, talking shit on me, which is totally fine. I'm sure he was in the slapdick Twitter spaces, the scum of the earth on social media Twitter spaces. And Roman Kimball follows us. I got a good relationship with Roman Kimball, have DMing back and forth. It's fine, no big deal, and I take none of it personally. I don't really care if Roman Kimball likes me, hates me, indifferent, whatever. And that goes for every player on every roster and every team. I simply shot Roman Kimball a DM and said, hey, man, I had somebody send me a screen recording of you talking shit last night on a Twitter Spaces, and it's no biggie. I take none of it personally, but for your future's sake, I just want you to remember that somebody's always watching and listening to everything you do and say. And reminding him that, hey, you've got a bright future. You got too much on the line to mess it up over something dumb, a.k.a. going into a Twitter Spaces with a bunch of loser-ass 18-year-olds and talking nonsense. Best of luck on your continued rehab. Congrats to you guys on the success and advancing to the Super Regionals. I did not threaten Roman Kimball. I simply let him know that, hey, Roman Kimball, you were a South Carolina baseball player. People are watching your every move. And believe it or not, you may think that the slapdicks on Twitter have your best interest at heart. They don't. They just want to be your buddy and feel cool so they can go text their buddies and tell their buddies, hey, man, I'm friends with a Carolina baseball player. Look, I took this selfie with him. I can't even show my face in the selfie, but I took this picture with the guy. Look, I'm best friends with Roman Kimball. He liked my tweet one time. They don't have your best interest at heart, because if they did, they wouldn't put you in that position to say something that you're obviously out intoxicated. Like, you got a bright future. You're going to get drafted. You throw like 97. You're going to get healthy, pitch for Carolina. Like, don't put your future at risk just to talk some nonsense in a Twitter space. Because guess what? It's all recorded. Guys, we're seeing it across every sport. Ja Morant, for example, is a great example. We've seen Twitter spaces get recorded and shared. So I just want to make it very, very clear, because I don't address 99.9% of the nonsense, because Twitter is not real life and it's a complete witch hunt on that app. But I do want to make it very clear, because I did DM Roman Kimball after the fact, after I saw that clip and heard the things Roman said. But it was very much in a, hey, man, I got your back, and I want to make sure that you understand that, hey, again, you got a lot on the line. The last thing you need is somebody coming into a Twitter Spaces that you're in and you're saying something and you feel like it's a safe space to just pop off and say whatever, and then it's a bad look on you, because you never know who's watching you. And you got a bright future. You're going to get drafted. You're going to make a lot of money. Don't mess it up over something stupid, especially a bunch of slapdicks who don't have your best interest in mind. That being said, let's jump into a quick break. On the other side, we'll keep the conversation going here on this Monday. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. Attention all Gamecock seafood lovers. Are you tired of searching for the freshest seafood in town? Look no further than the Carolina Fish Market, your go-to destination for the finest and most flavorful seafood in the Carolinas and beyond. Introducing the new Carolina Seafood Subscription Box, a culinary delight delivered right to your doorstep. Each month, you'll receive a carefully curated selection of fresh local seafood sourced directly from the waters of the Carolinas and beyond. From succulent shrimp to mouth-watering grouper to flounder or tuna and everything in between, their subscription box brings the ocean's bounty straight to your Gamecock kitchen. What sets the Carolina Fish Market apart is their commitment to quality and sustainability. They work closely with local fishermen and women who use responsible fishing practices, ensuring that every bite you take supports both your taste buds and our precious marine ecosystems. They've even won Best Seafood 5 out of the last 8 years. But that's not all. They're offering free shipping to all TSUS listeners on every Carolina seafood subscription box, making it even easier for you to indulge in the flavors of the coast. Experience the convenience and joy of having fresh seafood delivered right to your door without any of the hassle. Don't miss on this incredible opportunity to elevate your culinary adventures with the Carolina Fish Market's Carolina Seafood Subscription Box. Join the seafood enthusiasts across the nation who are savoring the taste of the Carolinas, one delectable bite at a time, and just in time for Father's Day. Visit their website today at carolinafishmarket.com. That's carolinafishmarket.com, and embark on a seafood journey like no other. Freshness, flavor, and convenience await you. Order your Carolina Seafood subscription box now and use the promo code SPURSUP, that's SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. Again, that's promo code SPURSUP, SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. The Carolina Fish Market, where taste meets the ocean.
Marshall Dougie, ho.
Ladies and gents, we are back here on this Monday, June the 5th, 2023. Going to appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in as we keep the conversation rolling. I do want to say, guys, I do apologize to those who tune in on a daily basis who deal with some of the slapdickery, and I'm normally one. Again, 99% of the time I don't address it, but I will just say, and Lynn Turner says that, YouTube has too many gnats and flies. Yeah, I mean, I will say this, and we just assigned my guy, we just figured some things out real quick, but I just will say I apologize to those who just simply want to tune into Gamecock sports talk or sports talk in general and deal with some of the nonsense, and especially those who deal with the nonsense as well on social media. And I don't know why that's a thing that's attached to the Gamecocks, but it's really not. It's every SEC fan base. It's just the landscape of Twitter, if you will. And I appreciate you all for not being deterred and not wanting to tune into the show and everything else. And I advise you all as well to ignore the nonsense, ignore the noise, because real recognize real, and real stands out above all else, and real keeps it moving. And TSUS would not be what it is and what it's becoming without, number one, your love of sport, but number two, it wouldn't be what it is and what it's becoming if we weren't real and authentic and genuine and really doing this shit. So anyways, guys, we're going to keep the conversation rolling because still there's a lot that I want to discuss, a lot I'm going to get into. Don't forget, we've got Mark Rogers, the voice of college football. He's upcoming at 1:15. And then, of course, about 1:30 or so, 1:45, we'll take your questions, comments, calls, our power hour, guys. If you cannot call in during that time, go ahead right now. Leave us a voicemail because I'd love to hear from you all, your thoughts, your reactions to everything. And also, guys, you guys do me a favor and keep me updated on Florida, Texas Tech, if you don't mind. I'm not watching that game currently. Not currently watching that game. So just let me know what's going on in that game if you don't mind, because obviously the results of that game is a very, very big deal. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much. And like I just said, I apologize for some of the madness that seems to follow TSUS no matter what. But, you know, the insecure, the miserable, the downtrodden will expose themselves in the midst of a happy person. It's just very easy to see. And really, dude, I just do pray for those people, and I empathize with those people. They're in such dark places that, I guess they find our YouTube chat the place to express that instead of, I don't know, getting a therapist or talking to their parents or doing what they need to do. So either way, we're going to keep it moving, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I said, TDC Rocks and Rolls. We're live noon to 3 on YouTube all week long. And then, of course, all the podcast content will drop 5 p.m. Eastern every single day, so you can go back, listen to the show, and all that good stuff. With that being said, we're going to move off of baseball and into football. And as you've all seen over the last couple of days or so, things are changing as we know it in the SEC. There's been a lot of debate and banter about what's good for the Southeastern Conference, what's good for college football. For starters, an 8-game or a 9-game conference schedule. An 8-game or a 9-game conference schedule. It was announced last week, actually, June the 1st. I believe this was Thursday. Yes, on Thursday. Greg Sankey in Destin at SEC spring meetings said that teams will play 8 conference games plus 1 required opponent from the ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12, the Pac-12, or a major independent during the 2024 season when Oklahoma and Texas join the league. Also, and here's the big kicker, we had talked about this last week. There was rumor about it. There's been speculation for months, but it's officially official. The SEC is going to eliminate divisional standings in football, and really, I guess, all across all sports. But they're eliminating divisional standings beginning in 2024. The SEC championship game will feature the 2 teams in the conference standings, the top 2 teams, I should say, in the conference standings at the end of the regular season. So, a single standings model will take place. This is all coming via at @SEC_Chuck Dunlap on Twitter. He says the single standings format will allow every school to play every other school at a minimum of 2 times in a 4-year period, regardless of whether the SEC utilizes an 8-game or 9-game format for future conference competition. So there's obviously an emphasis on having more unique matchups, or just more of these matchups happening more consistently, right? Not there being a decade delay between when South Carolina plays Alabama, for example, or like Georgia hasn't gone to College Station and since Texas A&M joined the league. There won't be that big of a delay. We will see more of these games happening on a more consistent basis. Chuck Dunlap also mentions that each school's opponents for the 2024 season, they will be announced June the 14th on a special primetime show on SEC Network, and dates of games will be announced at a later date. And with all that being said, I just wanted to, bring this to the forefront and bring this to the focus, because I'll tell you guys this. When it comes to the 8-game, 9-game debate, it's really not a long, drawn-out debate for me. I like the 9-game conference schedule. If they want to stick at 8, I understand. I think what most people, though, especially on social media, are missing the point. Greg Sankey's a businessman, and Greg Sankey is going to do what's best for the SEC. And when I say best, that S in best is a dollar sign, right? He's going to do what's best for them when it comes to the financial figures. And having this bargaining power, having this leverage, it's invaluable. I'm right. Leverage. You talk to anybody who does business. Having leverage, that's the go-to. That's the kicker. That's what you want. You want to have that. You want to be holding the cards. You want to have the ace in your hand, if you will. So I understand why Greg Sankey's holding out. I think the SEC probably will at some point go to that 9-game conference schedule. And you got to love the energy from Greg Sankey, just kind of saying, like, we don't care about the outside noise at all. Hey, look at that. Look at the national title game. We're going to do what we want to do. That's how you expect a leader to act, to avoid and to ignore this outside noise, if you will. Okay? So, anyways, when it comes to, though, this single standings model, and I mentioned this before, and it's something that maybe Gamecock Nation, Gamecock fans will not want to hear. But South Carolina's chances of ever winning the Southeastern Conference, they diminish significantly with this news. Because you think about already, I mean, right now, guys, in an East and West model, okay, you don't even worry about the SEC West outside of your cross-divisional games. In the East, you just really need to take down Georgia. You got to have a season in which, hey, you got the right quarterback, you're a veteran team, you've beefed up the lines of scrimmages, and you're able to take down Georgia. Right now, Georgia's what's really standing in your way. I know Tennessee's there. I know Florida's there. I know Kentucky's there, Mizzou. But Georgia's that one. Now, to get to the SEC title, now, with a single standings model, you look at it. Who's in your way? The top 2 teams in the SEC. Doesn't matter division. There are no more divisions. They'll play for the conference championship. Oklahoma, Texas, Auburn, LSU, Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Mizzou, Florida. The list of teams you now have to leapfrog to get to Atlanta just got much longer, right? I know it's already tough in the SEC East. But in the East, you upset Georgia. I mean, this year, look at this year. You upset Georgia. Hey, you got the upper hand. You are on the path through Atlanta. Think of how many teams you're going to have to upset. And maybe there's some years that with this scheduling thing, the schedule breaks well, but I doubt it. The schedule's always going to be hard. And with the way it's cycling, the years that you miss the best teams, it's going to be very rare. And especially when you factor in your permanent opponent or permanent opponents, whatever, Georgia's probably going to be one of them. Georgia's probably going to be one of them. And you got to play Clemson every year, which doesn't factor in the SEC thing. But either way, the schedule is going to be tough every year. Here's where I fall on it, though. So you asked me today, will South Carolina ever win an SEC championship? I'd probably favor no over yes. Here's the thing, though. You don't have to achieve the ultimate goal. And that goes for a lot of SEC teams. I think the SEC teams like the Kentuckys, the Carolinas, the Ole Misses, the Mississippi States, maybe even the Tennessees, you throw them in there. With the expanded playoff coming into play in 2024, here's the thing, guys. You don't have to win your conference to go to the playoff. You don't have to win the SEC championship. You don't even have to go. You don't even have to go, guys. If you're a 10-win or more, if you're a 10-win SEC team, we'll say, you're a 10-win SEC team, you're going to the playoff. It'll be a very rare occurrence that you don't go to the playoff. So how does this single standings model What does it mean for Carolina football? What does it mean for Shane Beamer and his goals? Every single coach has goals, right? Win the East, win the state, win the SEC, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What does it mean for the goals at South Carolina? And not necessarily how we judge Shane Beamer's success, but maybe on what success will look like in the future, 3-4 years down the road. Because if you can win the SEC, I mean, guys, obviously that's an incredible feat. That's an incredible season. And especially to overcome and jump all the hurdles, right? You just increased your hurdles by 3 or 4. That's my whole point of why the single standings model does not help South Carolina win the SEC. But I think the year in, year out goal, it should no longer to be to win the SEC. It should no longer even be to get to Atlanta. Just get to the college football playoff. Get in the playoff. With a single standings model and a 12-team playoff, you can get to the playoff. You can have a 10-2 season and get there. I'm not trying to put limiting beliefs and limiting expectations on Beamer. Hey, can they go 11-1? Sure. Maybe all these 24 offensive linemen and these guys they're bringing in, they're going to be proven dudes. They're going to be studs up front, and Lenora Sellers is him, and, hey, this team goes undefeated. Maybe so. But you ask, why the expanded playoff? Why are you in favor? Well, guys, from the South Carolina vantage point, the 12-team playoff is keeping the Gamecocks in the game. It's keeping the Gamecocks in play for something significant, and that is the national championship. Even if you don't win the freaking national title, going to the playoff, that's huge for your program. That's a huge boost for the program. And so I think now the goals and the expectations, they change a bit. I think now the goals and the expectations, I think they do change. I think they absolutely do change. And I'm not necessarily, I think adding Oklahoma, Texas, I understand why they're going single standings model. I think the pods was a pipe dream. I think the pods was probably most people's attempts at keeping more teams, again, in the game for longer. Because you think about, fan bases. And unfortunately, we are in a culture of college football where if you're not winning the SEC, if you're not winning the national championship, if you didn't get in the playoff, well, your season was a wash. Are you in? If it's yes, you had a good year. And if it's not, you had a crappy year. And I hate that. I really do. Maybe that's a topic for another day, but I hate that. I hate the fact that you go 8-4 and it's like you had a terrible season. You suck. It's like you're either the national champion or you suck. There is no middle ground for people. Granted, a lot of people don't have more than a couple brain cells. So I understand it. But it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it's labeled as such. But I think for South Carolina, again, I think for this program, and I promise I'm not trying to set limiting expectations, limiting beliefs. Shane Beamer has proven time and time again, he will prove you and I and everybody else wrong at every turn. I don't doubt Shane Beamer for a second. There's a reason it is Beamer ball to the moon. But with the single standings model and how much tougher it's going to be, I think all of a sudden, the trajectory of the program and where that is going, maybe it changes course just ever so slightly. I mean, I think you still make a goal is to win the SEC, no doubt. Of course you want to win the SEC. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking to yourself, okay, we go 10-2, we're getting in the playoff. Hell, 9-3 could maybe get you in. Potentially, maybe. Probably not every year, but I bet you some years. Because the SEC, there's a reason so many teams, guys, want to join the SEC. And I know we've had the conversation before, the hypothetical, should the Gamecocks have never left the ACC? Should they go back to the ACC? Some people will still talk about should they go back to the ACC. There's a reason so many teams want to come to the SEC. Because in the SEC, it's where the best ball is played, so your team gets the benefit of the doubt. 9-3 SEC team probably going to get the benefit of the doubt over a 10-2, MAC team, right? I mean, they are for sure 11-1. 9-3 SEC team is going to get the benefit of the doubt over a lot of other teams out there. They are. So the goals shift ever so slightly. The trajectory stays basically the same. But I think the new goal for Carolina football will be It's not about, well, if, because we talked about when Beamer was hired, a lot of people said, well, if and you look at the program right now, how long before you expect Beamer to have South Carolina in the SEC title? For me, that convo changes. For me, that convo is how long before we see South Carolina realistically competing to get in the college football playoff? Because I think that's an easier path. That's what's crazy. And what's wild, too, you think about it, guys, the 12-team playoff. The SEC champion, no doubt's getting in. The loser of the SEC title, they're also getting in. Without a doubt. And you're probably going to have, at minimum, I'd say 2 more SEC teams. You're probably going to have 4 SEC teams. Some years, I bet, you'd have 5 SEC teams get in that playoff. There is no reason in my mind, guys, why South Carolina cannot be a very frequent competitor for the college football playoff. We talked about it before. What are realistic year in, year out expectations for Shane Beamer at South Carolina? What are realistic year in, year out expectations for Shane Beamer's football program? And I've said, many of you have agreed, some disagreed, but many of you have agreed with what I said. I think Shane Beamer, and you got to walk before you can run, keep that in mind. I think Shane Beamer can take South Carolina and turn them into a realistic, consistent, year in, year out, 8 to 9 wins per year program. 8 to 9 wins per year. I think he can do that. I absolutely think that he can do that. Okay? And every 3 to 4 years, I said previously, every 3 to 4 years, you got the right quarterback, you're a veteran team, the schedule somehow, some way breaks in your favor, right? Based off like home and away maybe. And you're able to get to the SEC championship every 3 to 4 years. Let's say every 4 years. I think, honestly, though, guys, I think all of a sudden, like, you can say that it could happen more frequently when you start talking college football playoff instead of SEC title. It can happen more frequently than every 4 years. Really, truly. Because if you're an 8 to 9 win per year program, realistically, I'm not talking about, every now and then you're winning 8. I'm talking about you're winning 8 to 9 every single year. That means that your ceiling every year, we do best case, worst case. Your ceiling is going to be the one of probably an 11-win team, which means, you have a year where things go well and it clicks, it goes your way. You're a 10-win team, you're in the playoff. It'll be a very realistic thing. So I think Shane Beamer, guys, he's obviously doing a phenomenal job, can turn South Carolina into a damn near yearly competitor for the playoff. And I think that's going to be more realistic than setting the goal of, when's Shane Beamer going to win an SEC championship? I think the goal is the playoff, man. And if you have the team to go undefeated, great. But it's going to get even, and it just got even harder with this single standings model. So I think college football playoff appearances over SEC titles. I think that is the goal. I think Shane Beamer and company will set that as the goal. And I think it's a goal South Carolina can realistically achieve. And hey, from there, you start getting in the playoff, the exposure that brings, what that does for recruiting. Hey, maybe you can get to that level of Georgia, Alabama, LSU, what have you. But you got to walk before you can run. I think, hey, if walking is getting to the playoff, I think we'll all take that in a heartbeat. So, college football playoff appearances. College football is changing before our eyes. 8-game, 9-game conference schedule, single standings model. Do not fret. I think it can actually benefit Gamecocks football in the long run. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in, checking in real quick. What is the score? 3-0. 3-0. Florida is up on Texas Tech. Florida up on Texas Tech 3-0. So we're going to need a Red Raiders comeback. We are going to need a Red Raiders comeback for sure. Let's see. We're going to need a Red Raiders comeback. So anyways, guys, we're going to jump into a quick break. On the other side, we are going to get my good friend Mark Rogers, the voice of college football, on the show. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. Mark Rogers coming up next. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. Attention all Gamecocks seafood lovers. Are you tired of searching for the freshest seafood in town? Look no further than the Carolina Fish Market, your go-to destination for the finest and most flavorful seafood in the Carolinas and beyond. Introducing the new Carolina Seafood Subscription Box, a culinary delight delivered right to your doorstep. Each month, you'll receive a carefully curated selection of fresh local seafood sourced directly from the waters of the Carolinas and beyond. From succulent shrimp to mouth-watering grouper to flounder or tuna and everything in between, their subscription box brings the ocean's bounty straight to your Gamecock kitchen. What sets the Carolina Fish Market apart is their commitment to quality and sustainability. They work closely with local fishermen and women who use responsible fishing practices, ensuring that every bite you take supports both your taste buds and our precious marine ecosystems. They've even won Best Seafood 5 out of the last 8 years. But that's not all. They're offering free shipping to all TSUS listeners on every Carolina Seafood subscription box, making it even easier for you to indulge in the flavors of the coast. Experience the convenience and joy of having fresh seafood delivered right to your door without any of the hassle. Don't miss on this incredible opportunity to elevate your culinary adventures with the Carolina Fish Market's Carolina Seafood Subscription Box. Join the seafood enthusiasts across the nation who are savoring the taste of the Carolinas, one delectable bite at a time, and just in time for Father's Day. Visit their website today at carolinafishmarket.com. That's carolinafishmarket.com, and embark on a seafood journey like no other. Freshness, flavor, and convenience await you. Order your Carolina Seafood subscription box now and use the promo code SPURSUP, that's SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. Again, that's promo code SPURSUP, SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. The Carolina Fish Market, where taste meets the ocean.
Muscle Dougie, ho.
right, guys, we are back here on this Monday, June the 5th, 2023. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Excited for the week, man. Yardcocks are headed to the Super Regionals. Florida and Texas Tech, as we just mentioned, are playing right now. Florida is up 3-0, heading to the fifth inning. So, gonna need a comeback here. Gonna need a comeback. I mean, either way, Gamecocks are in the Supers, but obviously would love to have the Super Regionals at Founders Park. We'll see if that can happen. Again, need Texas Tech. And what a comeback, by the way. What a comeback, by the way, that it would be for Florida. I mean, it's honestly what a comeback that would be. Obviously they get in the losers bracket. So for them to come back and win that regional, you kind of got to tip your cap. But I mean, dude, what a fantastic matchup it would be. And the battle between TSUS, Gamecock Nation, and Mark Ryan would be absolutely electric, although Mark is not a baseball guy at all. I don't even know if he would care. I don't know if unfortunately, and I know this, and we'll talk about this week. Mark is one of those guys, I think, and I'm not even trying to like talk down on Mark, but I think it's just a reality. Mark's one of those guys where if Florida's to win on the diamond, he will talk crap. And I mean, he will talk relentless crap. If Florida loses, he'll say, well, baseball doesn't matter, 38-6. So, whatever. Anyways, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Texas Tech can make a comeback. Hopefully, Texas Tech can make a comeback. Guys, we got Mark Rogers upcoming in the next 3 minutes or so. Again, appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Thank you all so much for the love and support. Yeah, Dalton, give us some good news, my guy. We'll take all of your questions, your comments, your calls as well in our power hour. In our power hour, which will air right after our convo with Mark Rogers and go all the way up until 3 o'clock. Guys, again, thank you all so much. I'm so excited, man, to be live here. It's honestly, man, it's exhilarating, it's inspiring the fact that I get to talk with you guys on a day in, day out basis. And I'm truly blessed, man. I'm truly blessed, and I appreciate y'all each and every single day. And again, I want to say too, man, I apologize for my me even mentioning anything earlier of what was going on with some of the slapdickery in the chat, what have you. But it's just one of those things, man. You do get tired of seeing it and just seeing false claims and complete nonsense. And I don't put any light to any of this nonsense on social media because Twitter is truly a cesspool, and it's not the real world. I mean, it's just truly not the real world at all. But there's just sometimes some of the things, and I'll be honest with you, it's really really unfortunate that Roman Kimball felt the need to share our conversation, our private conversation in the DMs with the slapdicks, but he did, and I will be sure never to DM him again. But yeah, it's unfortunate he did that. So either way, it doesn't really matter. Happy for the Yardcocks, happy for him, happy for all those guys, but just unfortunate. So that's why, dude. And I know better because that's why it's better off to just not say anything and just completely ignore it because people are stupid, and it's just to a point where no matter what I say, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, whether it's this, no matter what it is, people will try to use anything, screenshot anything. You can Photoshop. I mean, dude, I saw stuff over the weekend of like our account, our bio being photoshopped to say different things. Look at this. Like, you can trust nothing on the internet. You can trust nothing. So I feel bad, honestly. And I'll tell you this, getting off of that leads me to this point. We got Mark Rogers, the voice of college football. He likes college baseball, and I'm going to force him to talk college baseball today. But I was watching on social media over the weekend, and I'll tell you this, and I know there's some people, and y'all know who they are, Josh Pate, that SEC podcast. Like, there's a lot of people who make a living just talking football, and I respect the hell out of it, man. And I know football moves the needle. But, like, this past weekend, man, I was sitting there, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel bad for people who don't like college baseball. Don't even, like, love it, but just don't even like it. Don't talk about it too. Like, to me, it's like the fact that you are – I could never. I'm not saying anybody's wrong for doing it, but I'm just like, bro, the fact that, like, you don't even tune into these games and mention these games are happening. Like, you're just talking football, and you're not even mentioning these games are happening, right? I mean, guys, honestly, it's one of the reasons why I have this idea and will eventually someday execute on the idea of expanding from just talking South Carolina to the entire SEC because there's a lot of people who talk SEC football. Do not get me wrong. But guys, how many people out there who cover the SEC cover all the sports or actually give takes and content on all the sports? None of them. Not even Saturday Down South. They do power rankings, and that's it. They don't talk baseball. They don't talk basketball. You know, my guy at that SEC podcast, they are notably a football show. So just for me, man, like I'm admitted not a basketball guy, but I'll still talk. Maybe not as much, but I just can't imagine not talking baseball, man. I can't imagine not talking baseball. I can't imagine. So, oh, you know what, guys? You know what? I am silly. I am silly. How about it? Oh, goodness. I'm silly because I did not realize I totally forgot this as I'm looking at my text. Goodness gracious. My apologies, guys. The Power Hour starts now. I totally forgot that Mark Rogers is on vacation. Mark Rogers is on vacation the next 2 Mondays. How did I forget this? I am just now realizing this. I'm like, why has Mark Rogers not jumped on? Well, friends, he's on vacation. So he ain't jumping on. Wow. I can't believe that. Well, guys, with that being said, I guess the Power Hour will start early. It will start early. Here we go. Let me just get this set up. Yeah, Dale, you should ban me, no doubt. Yeah, I forgot that Mark Rogers is on vacation. So we'll go ahead and get the Power Hour started, guys. Let's get into these voicemails. Hey, gives us more talk, react to everything that gives us time to react to everything that is taking place over the weekend. Here we go. Let's go ahead and jump into your voicemails. Then we'll get into your calls, everything else, guys. I do apologize. I totally forgot Mark Rogers is on vacation this Monday and next Monday. Shame on me. My bad, guys. My bad. That is my bad. That's a boo-boo. Hey, y'all love this show because we roll with the punches. Well, here we go. We're going to continue to do so. Let's go ahead and get into some of these voicemail.
Go with John with Cloud Nine right now. This is, I mean, you give it credit to Mark Kingston, the entire coaches have the players, and I think having Will McGillis back in the lineup leading off. I mean, he was spark plug of this offense before he got hurt, and see, you enjoy this one for a day or two, and then you focus on whoever you're going to play. You play who you play, whether it's in Gainesville or it's in Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah, but, whoever you play with, maybe go win a Super. Yeah. Go Cox. Bye.
I love it, John Edward. Well said, my friend. Here we go. Let's go ahead and keep the voicemails rolling.
Hey, oh, Smokey, you'll always be the best dog for me. Good old Smokey. And up to Clemmy and dragged his balls across the play. Man, what a weekend, Chris. You didn't know, man. I know we can be friends on this one, man. It was nice. I was so happy to see. I wanted to get down here for championship game. So I had to ride my moped down here, and I just got down here this morning, so I'm hit. I'm at Dustin or whatever it is. I get to see a whole place looking girls with balls across, man. It's really nice out here, not a person in sight. Everybody went home. Must not like what they see, but down from these easy Clemmy, baby. Woo! Go balls, man. Man, go chickens, man. Them chickens did work this morning. I knew I'd hold on that hen house for a reason. She took everything else, but she loved the hen house. So, I mean, that's where I'll be my closet South Carolina fandom at. Every time I walk in that house, in that hen house, that's when I'll be a Cox fan, man. But good job overall, Gamecocks and Chris, man. I don't know when you ever gonna talk to me again. You should call him third hour. It's about third show of call. I can't figure out this thing, man. Like I'm talking to myself. But yeah, man, I sent you a video of me at the stadium. I'm gonna see if I can walk out here at home plate and drag my backside across it like Smokey did. All right, man, wish me luck. Beat it out. On to the Super
BDD out. Oh my God, man. What a call. All right, guys, let's jump into one final voicemail, then we'll get into your questions and we'll open the phone lines up.
Hey, this is Hunter Kelly. So what I'm wondering is from that game last night. So I forgot who it was, but when when the pitcher throws outside of the base and he called an out for it, I'm just wondering how that's even possible. So I just wanted to get a question, get the answer on that. Thanks.
Hold on. What
Called an out.
Let's see.
I forgot who it was, but when the pitcher throws outside of the base and called an out for it, I'm just wondering how that's even possible. So I just wanted to get a question, get the answer on that. Thanks.
So Hunter Kelly says, guys, in case you couldn't hear it, the pitcher throws outside of the base. How did he get an out for it in the game last night? I got to be honest with you, Hunter. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. If you're talking about when he's pitching and it's a called strike 3, the umpire called it. I mean, that's just kind of how that operates, how that works, if you will. I don't know. I don't know, Hunter. If you want to call back in, let me know what you were trying to say. We can expand on it. Here, we just got a voicemail. Let's hear in what this one's got to say.
Hey there, Chris. Just wanted to say awesome series, man. It was so fun to watch. Glad to see Will Sanders starting to hopefully get some of the stuff back. And yeah, it was some interesting pitcher calling, but glad it worked out. And good to see them back in scoring offensively again. So what's your thoughts on Will Sanders' chances of perhaps starting a game 2 or game 1 in the whatever super regional they get to play in? Thanks.
Yeah, great question. I appreciate you calling in. And guys, I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. 843-790-3377. Odds that Will Sanders pitches again, I think it depends on opponent. If it's Florida, as it looks like it'll be, I like the idea to do so. Now, what game will it be? I do not know. And the other part, guys, like I mentioned earlier, is like, what type of shape is he in? Is he in the shape to pitch 6, 7, 8 innings? That's really the question, I think. But I like the idea. I mean, if the stuff is what it was last night, I like him against anybody. So I think the odds are pretty decent, actually, that you see him start a game. I really do. Guys, that being said, we're jumping into your questions, comments, calls. Here we go. Reacting to everything that happened over the weekend, hanging out here on this Monday. Casey Curry said, Supers, here we come. Let's go, Red Raiders. Braddock 843, Super Regionals bound. Let's go. And Clem sucks. Indeed. What a weekend. Carolina wins. Clem sucks falls. What a weekend. I mean, what a weekend. And by the way, I haven't even posted the graphic, right, that we talked about. Those in the Big Cock Club Discord know what I'm talking about. I got to get that out. I just reminded myself. I got to get that out. Ethan says, great to be a Gamecock. Looks like Kingston has saved his job. I agree. I think Kingston's absolutely saved his job. Ethan, I think he's done what's necessary to return. Austin says, feels super to be in the supers. Indeed. Brendan M says, woke up feeling super. Let's see. Austin Gregory. Clemson has lost their own regional the last 5 times they've hosted. Crazy. Jeff Gullidge, I'm back from the Bahamas. Well, welcome back, Jeff. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed your vacation, my friend. What did I miss? Oh, nothing. Just the Gamecocks have punched their ticket to the Super Regionals, my man. Nothing crazy. Austin Gregory, can't wait to smoke this Mark Ryan pack after Florida loses. I hear you. Braddock, we're a special team at home and with the Rowdy Roosters. No doubt. Yeah. That home atmosphere is something special, man. Let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Dalton.
Dalton, what's up, man? How are you?
How's it going, man? I'm just hanging out, I guess. Yeah, nothing much going on today. Obviously, I was at the park all weekend. We got a big dub. Won 3 straight onto the Supers, and that's sort of what I wanted to talk about. Obviously, barring
some kind of comeback from the Raiders, which could still happen. There's some innings left, and Texas Tech has a really good offense, but I just don't see it at this point. So I'm just going to assume that we're going to be going to Gainesville. And my question to you is, what's your confidence level going into this super regional, assuming that we're going to be playing Florida, that we could win 2 out of 3? Because when you look at Florida's ball team, the only real hole I see is their bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their lineup is one of the best in the SEC. They've got 3 of the best starters in the SEC. And, I mean, if we play like we played this weekend, you know, I'm not counting out that we could win 2 out of 3, but the problem is we were going up against kind of mediocre pitching staffs in NC State and CCSU, and then by the time we played Campbell, they had already gone through all their best lines, you know, by the time we played them. So, you know, I'm wondering if you think the outcome and the offensive production will be, will be stopped by, you know, facing an elite SEC pitching staff like what Florida has.
Well, you're right, Dalton. The competition will most certainly, improve, no doubt. I mean, Florida is much better than any team that we had in our regional. But the good news is this: it's nothing that South Carolina has not seen before, right? I mean, you've literally played this Florida team and swept them on your home field. Having to go to Gainesville, it's a little bit different of a beast, right? That home field advantage, it's a real thing. You ask my confidence level. I feel confident. I don't know if I'm willing to put like a number on it or a percentage. I will say this, though, Dalton. It seems like every time I give Florida a bunch of credit, they fall flat on their face. And especially like I think I forget. I think I picked the Gamecocks to take 2 of 3 against Florida, and then South kind of swept. But I've been talking about, of course, we all know that the joke within the BCC Discord, I've been talking about how good Florida is all year. And it seems like every time I do that, they crumble. So, I feel confident. I mean, I think it's going to be a great series. You know, if it is Florida, right, there's still ball to be played in Gainesville right now. But, I feel confident. I mean, it's certainly going to be a different challenge. I think your pitching is going to have to be even better than it was. The good news is it's a 3-game series, right? You're not going to fall into a loser's bracket type of situation. But I think that the emphasis will be even more so on your pitching than your hitting. You know, the hitting's got to be there for sure, but I would expect these to be lower scoring games. I mean, the guys they have on the bunt with Sproat leading the way, I expect them to be – I mean, it's just going to be like a normal SEC weekend, man, with just added extra emphasis on it. So I do feel confident. I mean, we all know what the challenge and the task would be, but I think it's one you're definitely excited about, especially when you factor in the Gamecocks swept this team earlier in the year.
Yeah, I mean obviously, Florida has been on somewhat of a hot streak the last half of the season, whereas we're just now starting to get healthy. Obviously, you know, the top 5 or 6 in our lineup, and Petrie, Casas, Messina, Braswell, LeCroy, and McGillis, like those guys came up huge this weekend. But I think one of the bigger reasons why they came up huge is because it always seemed like we were taking walks, getting runners on base. I don't necessarily feel like the Florida pitching staff, you know, at least the starting pitching, is going to be giving up free passes like that. So, you know, we've talked about it before. Do you believe this team, you know, fully healthy the way we are right now, can still produce runs against elite pitching without getting a bunch of free passes and on base, you know?
Well, I mean, listen, it's you got to definitely give credit to your hitters for being patient and working walks and being tough outs. But I mean, you know, to your point, Dalton, it's kind of a no duh thing that, you know, what makes a pitcher successful? I mean, you talk about like a Brandon Sproat or anybody on Florida. You know, if they're throwing strikes and they're staying ahead in the count, I mean, they've all got elite stuff, right? So if they're staying ahead in the count and they're locating, I mean, they're going to be hard to hit for anybody. I don't care how good your lineup is or how good your hitters are. That's just what's going to make you successful as a pitcher. You know what I mean? So, you know, I do get on the one hand that could you say this team has benefited from walks and hit by pitches and those types of things? I mean, for sure. I mean, but any offense is going to benefit from it. I mean, you can't blame or take it away from an offense when they work those events happening, right? Or when they work those counts, when they work those at bats, if you will. So, I mean, basically to answer your question, you're asking, like, will it help us if their pitchers are not at their best? Yes, it will. I think our lineup can still put together really, really good at bats, though, without that happening. That's why I said, though, I think I put more of the emphasis on the pitching, because you're not going to score 16 runs a game against Florida. You're not going to score 19 runs in a game against Florida. It's going to be a lot more similar to what the NC State game was like, right? I mean, that's what you can expect to see for 3 games this weekend if you take on Florida. Some low-scoring games. So guys like Eli Jones, James Hicks, Jack Mahoney, Will Sanders, Matthew Becker, et cetera, et cetera. Like, those guys have all got to be at their best, because you're going to need elite pitching, because elite pitching will beat elite hitting. So I think South Carolina, Dalton, with Will McGillis back, right, with everybody healthy, I think you're in the best position possible to have success against that Florida pitching. But I think to expect this team to go out and score 10 runs against Florida maybe is asking a little bit much. The pitching, I think, has got to take their game to a next level this weekend.
And then my next question is, how would you set up the rotation? Because obviously, they're going to go in some order of Sproat, Waldrop, and Caglione.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure who they're going to go first, but all of those guys are, top-tier SEC starters. Mm-hmm. They're all really good. How would you set up the pitching this weekend? Would you start a Will Sanders? Obviously, Jack Mahoney is going to pitch. He's been our best starter, for a while now. So, and then also, you have Eli Jones, you have Cade Austin, there's a bunch of options you could go for a potential game 3, but how do you think Kingston is going to set up the rotation to give us the best chance of winning on the road?
I would go like this. And again, right now, by the way, to update you, Dalton, and everybody else, it does look like it's going to be Carolina, Florida, and Gainesville, because it's 6-0 Gators right now. So Florida's kind of running away with this game. I would set up the rotation as such, because it really comes down to, like, you have 5 guys who can start, right? You got Jack Mahoney, Will Sanders, Matthew Becker, James Hicks, Eli Jones. You got 5 guys who can start a game this weekend. So who do you prefer? They're all going to pitch. Who do you prefer getting the baseball to start the game, and who do you prefer coming out of the bullpen? I will say this. As much as I talked about Will Sanders being a guy that could start this weekend, he has been really good in his career out of the bullpen. So you don't have to start him. That's the luxury. You don't have to start him. But you look back at earlier this year, I mean, he was dominant against Florida, dude, and he hates Florida. It's personal for him. I would go Jack Mahoney game 1, Will Sanders game 2, and I would have Jones and Hicks ready in relief in both games. Game 3, you worry about game 3 when you get there. Is it Becker? Is it one of the two in Jones and Hicks that did not pitch? Probably so. I think you got to get a little bit creative, right? Because you don't have your 3 horses you started the year with. So I think you get a little bit creative, because you're trying to win it in 2 games, right? You're trying to win this thing in 2 games. You're not trying to take it to a game 3. So I'd go Mahoney, Sanders, games 1, game 2. I like pitching Will Sanders against Florida. I do, because of what he did last time. Even if they got a scouting report on him. Hell, they had a scouting report on him last time, and it didn't mean anything. So I like that dynamic, right? I like that dynamic in this series. I mean, if they go Mahoney Hicks, if they go Hicks Mahoney, I'll have no issue with it, because the way I see it, Dalton, is I don't even know if it matters who starts. They're all going to pitch. I don't think it even matters. To a degree. It doesn't as much. I don't know if there's as much emphasis on who starts as there normally would be. So, but I would go. Go ahead.
Obviously, though, when you look at it, right, this team can come back from a deficit late in the ball game, but when you have guys like what Florida has on the bump with Dylan Sproat and Waldrop, you don't want to get behind 3, 4, 5 runs,
Right.
early in a ball game. So you have to, do some kind of massive comeback, especially on the road. You want guys that, maybe they'll give up a couple runs, but, we're going to score a couple runs and even it up. That's my main concern is as dominant as Will Sanders looked this weekend, and he looked dominant against Florida when we played him at home. I mean, going into Gainesville in a super regional environment, when the stakes are the absolute highest, can he execute the same way he was able to execute at home in the regular season? That's the question. The question isn't, does Will Sanders have the talent to shut down Florida's lineup? Because I think when he's playing at his absolute best, they do have the talent. He does have the talent to shut down Florida's lineup, but we just haven't seen that consistently from Will Sanders for, a long time.
It's a very good point.
So that's my main concern with Sanders.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, that's fair. That's a fair concern. And again, like I mentioned, he has pitched really, really well out of the bullpen in his career. This weekend being no exception, right? So, I mean, I'd say this. It's an important decision, but Dalton, believe it or not, it's not going to be a decision that I scrutinize nearly as high as maybe some others will, because I really feel confident in all these guys. Really, I do. I mean, Sanders is the biggest wild card for sure. And so, I mean, if they want to go bullpen with him, I totally get it. But I think let me put it to you this way, Dalton. I think he needs to pitch. I think he absolutely needs to pitch because, hey, this is the time to roll the dice, right? I mean, this is it. This is for all the marbles. And if you're in you need to throw your best guy available. And I mean, right now, believe it or not, if you ask me, who would you rather put in there? And this is no slight at anybody. Who would you rather put in there? Will Sanders or Matthew Becker, Cade Austin, Brett Thomas? I'm going Will Sanders, man. I'm going Will Sanders right now. Give me stuff over everything else. Give me stuff because Will Sanders, even if he's not sharp, he's got good enough stuff most of the time to get away with it. He's got elite stuff. Even with as bad as he's been this year, he's got elite stuff. So, yeah, the way they handle the pitching staff, man, it's going to be interesting because, again, they will have to get somewhat creative this weekend for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's hope that the Red Raiders can come back. But personally, I don't see it. So I guess let's book our tickets to Gainesville and just hope we come out on top. I mean, it'll be a 2012 College World Series final rematch to go to Omaha.
Indeed,
which
man.
Will be a matchup, but hopefully we get what we need there, and all of our pitchers are ready to go and play just as well on the road as they played at home. So, it's baseball and anything can happen. And I'm just hoping that the ball bounces our way this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be a great weekend for baseball for sure. I mean, it always is when South Carolina, Florida take the field. But when you think about what's on the line, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Dalton, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Thank you so much for calling in.
No problem.
Hey, man, great stuff from our friend Dalton. Guys, we are going to jump into a quick break. And like I mentioned, Florida now up on Texas Tech 6-0. So it's looking more and more. And that's in the bottom of the fifth, I believe. Bottom of the fifth, it's looking more and more likely that South Carolina will travel to Gainesville to take on the Florida Gators in the Super Regional. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Hey, we'll be watching the game right in our Big Cock Club Discord. Join today, patreon.com/Big Cock Club. We had a great turnout, by the way. And that's just one of the many, many features. I mean, we watch all the games in there for sure, but we're in there on a day-to-day basis, hanging out, chatting, conversating, having a good time. So y'all check it out. Patreon.com/Big Cock Club, or click the link in bio on social media to join Big Cock Club. It's right there in our link tree. So anyways, thank you all so much. By the way, all those who joined, our new members, thank you so much. We had about 15 people join over a 3-day period. Really, really great stuff. Love growing the community, the best exclusive Gamecocks community on the internet. Guys, that being said, we're going to jump into a quick break. We're keeping the conversation and keeping your questions, your comments, your calls rolling here on this Monday, June the 5th, 2023. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. Attention all Gamecocks seafood lovers. Are you tired of searching for the freshest seafood in town? Look no further than the Carolina Fish Market, your go-to destination for the finest and most flavorful seafood in the Carolinas and beyond. Introducing the new Carolina Seafood Subscription Box, a culinary delight delivered right to your doorstep. Each month, you'll receive a carefully curated selection of fresh local seafood sourced directly from the waters of the Carolinas and beyond. From succulent shrimp to mouth-watering grouper to flounder or tuna and everything in between, their subscription box brings the ocean's bounty straight to your Gamecock kitchen. What sets the Carolina Fish Market apart is their commitment to quality and sustainability. They work closely with local fishermen and women who use responsible fishing practices, ensuring that every bite you take supports both your taste buds and our precious marine ecosystems. They've even won Best Seafood 5 out of the last 8 years. But that's not all. They're offering free shipping to all TSUS listeners on every Carolina Seafood subscription box, making it even easier for you to indulge in the flavors of the coast. Experience the convenience and joy of having fresh seafood delivered right to your door without any of the hassle. Don't miss on this incredible opportunity to elevate your culinary adventures with the Carolina Fish Market's Carolina Seafood Subscription Box. Join the seafood enthusiasts across the nation who are savoring the taste of the Carolinas, one delectable bite at a time, and just in time for Father's Day. Visit their website today at carolinafishmarket.com. That's carolinafishmarket.com, and embark on a seafood journey like no other. Freshness, flavor, and convenience await you. Order your Carolina Seafood Subscription Box now and use the promo code SPURSUP, that's SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. Again, that's promo code SPURSUP, SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. The Carolina Fish Market, where taste meets the ocean.
Muscle Dougie, ho.
All right, guys, we're back here on this Monday, June the 5th, 2023. We are taking your questions, your comments, your calls as we are in our power hour. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377 here on this Monday. Let's see. Let's get back into your questions here. Let's get back into your questions. Travis says, so much nicer when we have a happy Gamecock nation. I would agree, Travis. And it's a shame those who still are unhappy here on this Monday. My goodness. You're unhappy and your team won and your rival lost. What do you have to be upset about? Some people, Travis, they still find a way. Daniel Gregory says, hey, South Carolina fans, F Clemson, go Big Orange. We own Clemson in football and baseball. Thank you, Daniel, for doing us that service. Thank you. Thank you. Again, I appreciate my guy Austin Ward for the super chat earlier today. Guys, you want to support the business, support the content, support the channel, and you're on YouTube, you can do so. Super chat, super stickers. Appreciate Austin for doing that. Guys, let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Will from Dirty Myrtle.
Will from Dirty Myrtle. What's going on, my friend? How are you?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I appreciate you asking what's going on.
Nothing much, man. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Just wanted to call and say, one, man, what a good weekend it was to watch baseball, man. It was really great getting all those good games in. Also, really nice to join the Big Cock Club and that vibe y'all got going on there watching the games, man. It's real cool hangout. I'd advise other people to do the same because this weekend I'm going on vacation to Tampa, so that's gonna come in clutch for me being able to break the iPad out. Get the hot spot going, be able to watch the games, man. Chill.
Yeah, we'll have it on, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you joining the BCC, man. And yeah, we had a great time. It's a lot of fun, so I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, man, definitely. And hopefully we can get that W this weekend. But yeah, it's cool because I won't be around a TV, so I'll be able to grab the iPad and still be able to watch it. So
yeah, for sure, for sure, man, for sure.
But anyway, brother, that's all I wanted to say, man, and I'll jump off here, bro.
Will, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the kind words. Always a pleasure. Will from Dirty Myrtle, who recently, actually yesterday, joined the BCC. And yeah, guys, we will have the games on in the Big Cock Club Discord, streaming all the baseball games. And guys, like I mentioned, it's a real blast getting to hang out with folks and enjoy the games. And we watch tons of stuff. I mean, we'll cut on Squeeze Play and college football Saturdays, we'll have the games on and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun, and you guys can watch college baseball, watch anything with us. Heck, sometimes we'll cut on the Braves games and just hang out. So it's a good time, man. Patreon.com/Big Cock Club, or click the link in bio. Click the link in bio and go to our link tree, and you can join there. Let's see. SEC bias. Let's see. Gavin sent me this. Chris, you got to read out what I sent on Instagram. Reddit College Football tweeted this. Some people refer to Clemson as Auburn with a lake, referring to their similar architecture, common cultural values and traditions, and classic Southern hospitality, and letting a guest win the baseball regional that they hosted. Oh, tough weekend to be a Tiger, huh? Tough weekend to be a Tiger. Dalton Hines, Texas Tech has 2-1 and no out. Florida is headed to the bullpen. Hey, we'll see. God, what a turn of events that would be if Texas Tech can find a way. Hayden Yu just says, find some joy. Some people need to. Some people need to find some joy, I will say. Let's see. Joseph says, we're going to go to Gainesville and F Florida up again. Why not? Let's do it. Jeff Gullich says, SEC Media Days is in July, right? Yes. SEC Media Days, Jeff, is in July. It's normally that week of like July 17th, 19th, something like that. Like I'm looking at the calendar. Yeah, so I think it'll be the week of the 17th to the 21st, or 17th to the 20th is when SEC Media Days will be. So our content schedule, Jeff, I will lock in my full predictions probably July we'll probably say 6th and 7th or something like that, or maybe the 10th. Maybe we'll go the 10th. I don't know. Either way, but it'll be early July when I'll lock in my predictions for Carolina football, and then we'll get into SEC Media Days, and we'll get into all of our preseason coverage and content. Guys, that being said, let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Robbie Davis, Zaxby's Hall of Famer.
Robbie Davis, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing good. I just finished eating some lunch.
You
How are
good?
you doing?
You good, my guy? You got a little
Yeah, I'm good.
frog in your throat there.
Yeah, I'm good. But how are you doing?
I am doing well, my friend. I appreciate you asking. What's going on?
So first things first, before I get to what I want to talk about. This past weekend, I found out some fantastic, awesome news, and I wanted you to hear it from your boy. Okay, I found out this past weekend on Friday that I will be in Willie B for every single home game this season.
Every single home game. Wow. Robbie Davis is going to be in Willie B. How about that, man? That's awesome. That's a victory for all of Gamecock Nation. How about it? Where do you, Robbie? Robbie, do you know where y'all are tailgating? Do you know where y'all are going to tailgate?
We're going to tailgate in the same place we tailgated last year. They tailgate over right next to the military museum, I believe.
The armory, I think you're probably mentioning, maybe.
Yeah, the armory.
The armory,
yes. That thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're the spot where we'll be is like almost like I could, if I had the arm strength, I could probably throw a rock and hit the building.
Gotcha.
So that's where we'll be. It ain't that bad of a walk to the stadium, though, so I'll be able to handle it.
The Armory parking lot. Love that. But you'll be at every game, my friend. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Aside from the North Carolina game, yes, I will be at every single home game this season.
I love that. I love that, Robbie. That's incredible. Congratulations.
So I'm really excited. And so let's get to the meat and potatoes of the convo, okay? I just wanted you to hear that from me because I was like, I'm waiting. I waited till Monday to tell you. I was like, I'm going to wait till Monday to tell you.
Well, Robbie, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you, man. Y'all have a blast.
So it was a fantastic game yesterday. I honestly was shocked that Will Sanders pitched yesterday. Okay. Because we were already beating the living dog mess out of Campbell by that point. And I honestly would not be shocked if he pitched if he started in the Supers. No matter where it's at. Because if he can pitch like that from here on out, the way he pitched in that one inning, he will freaking prove that, hey, I may have had an off year, but whenever it matters, I bring my dadgum A game and I'm freaking throwing darts into the catcher's mitt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would not shock me, Robbie, to see Will Sanders get an opportunity, especially when you factor in what he did against Florida the first time that he started against them.
Right.
It would not shock me.
For sure. And we looked like the Carolina team that we saw early in the season yesterday.
We did. We looked a lot more like that team in the first 40 games. We most certainly did.
Yes, we I was like, thank you, Lord. We are playing like our normal selves again. This is not like the last couple of weekends of the season. This is the South Carolina baseball that I'm used to seeing. That's what I told them. I was like, this is what I'm used to seeing. Us with a decent lead and then just putting the nails in the coffin and taking care of business.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun for sure.
I have no idea what the score is in the Florida and Texas Tech game right now.
Mm-hmm.
If I would love this. I would love for us to be able to host the Super, but whatever happens, I'll be okay with it because we're going to the Supers regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And whenever we played Florida in a 3-game series, we swept them. So
yeah, Florida up right now, by the way, going to the bottom of the 6-0. So I think barring a major comeback, the Gamecocks will be heading to Gainesville for the Super Regional. So just a FYI.
Oh, but and another thing is we're healthy. We weren't healthy whenever we went on that skid, but right now we are about as healthy as we've been for quite a while. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes this next weekend.
Yeah, indeed. Hey, listen, I'm excited, man. I mean, I look at it as, you know what, it's an SEC matchup, and you know, you want to beat the best and play the best, and Florida's one of the best, and you know, you've swept them already, which you can look at as a positive. You can also look at it's really, you know, it's really hard to beat a team 5 times in a season. But you know, I think it'll be a great weekend of baseball if it is indeed Carolina, Florida.
Absolutely.
So,
all right, buddy, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I will talk to you tomorrow.
Robbie, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the call.
No problem, buddy.
Yeah, man. Take care.
All right, man.
So I saw a comment. Thank you to Robbie Davis. I saw a comment from Austin Gregory. Over under Robbie Davis at 6 minutes. Robbie Davis went 6 minutes and 15 seconds. How about that? That was Austin. That was a great line you set, my guy. That was a great line you set. That was a great line. 6 minutes and 15 seconds. It was close. It was close. Very, very close. Arthur Bear asks, question for anyone to answer. Does it benefit Carolina in any way that Florida's having to play an extra game today? Does that help Carolina going in the Supers? Maybe a little bit, Arthur Bear. I mean, it's, you know, they get one less day of rest, but I don't think it's like, Arthur Bear, I'll say this, I don't think it's a reason to pick Carolina to win or pick Florida to win. Like, I don't think it's a major factor. I mean, it's something they're dealing with, the Gamecocks aren't dealing with, but I wouldn't list it, Arthur Bear, as, well, how will Florida respond to lack of rest? I mean, here's the thing. Their Friday guy, their Saturday guy, like all their pitchers are still getting the same amount of rest, right? So I don't really factor it in all that much, Arthur Bear, to be totally honest with you. Lynn Turner says, Squeeze Clay kept rotating us out. My Wolfpack husband and I got so frustrated. I was listening in on some online radio, but didn't understand why we kept getting rotated out. Yeah, Squeeze Play can at times be a little bit annoying. Bruin Nation says, Find Some Joy has become the new Bless Your Heart, a.k.a. Kiss My Ass, a.k.a. Bruin Nation, pipe down slapdick. That's what I said during the football season. Some people didn't like it. I said, Find Some Joy is Beamer's version of pipe down slapdick. That's all it is. John Edwards says, how much shit are you going to give Mark Ryan today? Enough. I can assure you. Let's see. We did have a voicemail come up during Robbie Davis's call. So with that being said, let's play this voicemail. See what we got.
What's up, Chris, man? How you feeling today? I just wanted to wish everybody a super Monday. The grass is green, the Tigers suck, and the Cocks are hot, baby. Shout out John Edward, bringing in Bruin Nation. Big Cock Club, Carolina Fish Market. Love y'all. Later.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm fired up. Love that. Austin Gregory, I'm assuming that was you, my friend. Very, very well done, sir. Very well done. Very well done. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff from Austin Gregory. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone, man. Love y'all. Love y'all so much. Let's see. Let's get back into some questions. Let's see. Hunter Hurlow says, anybody going to tune into Clemson Sioux Region this week? Oh, wait, never mind. I love it. I love it. That's hilarious. Yeah, I love it. That's hilarious. Ethan says, did not expect McGillis to lead off or have the series he had coming back, but definitely like in the field, in the leadoff spot. He was one of our difference makers for sure. Yeah, he was, no doubt. Absolutely a major difference maker. Chase says, Hall of Fame voicemail right there. That was a good one. That was a really, really good one. Guys, just checking in again. Let's see. It was just 6-0 Florida. It was just 6-0 Florida. A packed game, or a packed day, I should say, of college baseball. Tons of college baseball today, man. Tons. Yeah, looks like it's still 6-0, bottom of the sixth. So, anyways, guys, the college baseball on the docket, in case you missed it, there is a ton of it. You've got Florida Tech right now. How about LSU, Oregon State starting right now on ESPN+. TCU and Arkansas at 3. Penn and Southern Miss at 3. Kentucky and Indiana at 6. Duke and Coastal Carolina at 6. Texas A&M Stanford at 9. Then you've got LSU and Oregon State, if necessary, at 6. And then TCU Arkansas, if necessary, at 9. So ton of great baseball today, guys. Tons of great baseball. Man, it's awesome. Great time to be a college baseball fan. That's what I was saying earlier, man, is like I just – with all this baseball on, I cannot imagine not liking college baseball. Like, just imagine not liking college baseball. Imagine this weekend taking place and not being able to enjoy it. Just couldn't be me. It just couldn't. And I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, feel bad for people who don't like college baseball. I really do. Because you're missing out. You're missing out. Anyways, Brewer Nation says, sounded like a call into the shout-out line on a hip-hop station. Shout out my cousin, Lil J, Big T, Ice Tray, BDD, Eastside, North, Mama and them, Yoha. I love it, Brewer Nation. I love it, man. Yeah, a little bit. But again, just imagine not liking college baseball. Sad. It's a sad reality for some. It's a sad reality. So, let's see. Top of the seventh. Florida up. So Texas Tech is running out of outs. Looking more and more likely that it will be. Well, guys, we'll probably know. I mean, top of the seventh. We'll know by the end of TDC whether or not South Carolina will host a super or not. So, anyways, do you? Let me ask you this. I want to poll you guys. Do you agree? Do you agree on the Mark Kingston chatter that Mark Kingston should be back? Again, I say, and I echo it yet again, that I think he should. I think he earned his way back. Again, you can say that and also say it'll be disappointing if this team doesn't make it to Omaha. You can say both things are true. It'll be disappointing if this team doesn't make it to Omaha. Both will be true. Anyways, guys, really excited to keep the convo going and the content, I should say, rolling throughout baseball season. Just so happy we get another week of talking baseball. We'll have some exciting things planned and some exciting things we're doing as we break down the Super Regionals, break down the series this weekend. Of course, I think Thursday will be our full series preview, breakdown, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll have some special guests on, stuff like that. Going to be a lot of fun. So Austin Gregory says gator hunting season is in full effect. No doubt. Going to be a lot of fun. Lynn Turner points this out. Fun fact, if Florida had not won their natty in 2017, scuttlebutt was that we were going to hire Kevin O'Sullivan instead of Kingston. Yeah, Lynn Turner, you know what's funny about that? So 2017, obviously, TSUS starts in January. The podcast starts in April, right? So, I mean, we had 100 followers literally on Twitter. Had 100 followers. And probably my first viral tweet for sure. Viral, quote unquote. Viral subjective. But my first tweet that caught any attention was we had my guy Forrest Kumis, who pitched at South Carolina, right? He started game 1 of the 2011 College World Series final. You might recall that. We had Forrest Kumis on the show, okay? We had Forrest Kumis on the show. And his dad apparently knows an SEC umpire or something like that. Long story short, Forrest had confirmed to me that Kevin O'Sullivan is going to be the next head coach at South Carolina. That was confirmed through very good sources. And to your point, Lynn, if not for that run in 2017, that would have happened. But of course, the rest is history. They win the College World Series, and he does not leave Gainesville. So crazy how things work out. I mean, it really, truly is crazy because Sully's one of the best in the business, and I mean, I would have taken him. I would have taken him back in 2017. So I would have absolutely taken him. Again, guys, looking more and more like the Gamecocks will travel to Condrone Park to take on Florida in the Super Regionals. Travis says he should be back. You can't fire a coach making it to the Supers. I mean, again, I agree with you, Travis. I agree. You cannot realistically fire a coach who is taking you to the Super Regionals. You can't do it. You can't do it. So I would agree with you. I think he will be back, and I think he should be back. Absolutely. The Big Cock Club Discord is popping today. Big Cock Club Discord getting after it. Appreciate you all so much. Keith said, just got my season football tickets and a notification where I can get my tickets for USC versus UNC. Yeah, guys, in case you need tickets to any game, whether it be baseball, basketball, football, what have you, concerts, comedy club events, you can do so through our friends at SeatGeek. Use the promo code SPURSUP at checkout. You'll get you'll get $20 off your first purchase. You get $20 off your first purchase using that promo code SPURSUP. It's got to be a new account, so make it with a new email, whatever, but you'll get $20 off. Definitely worth it. We could all use an extra $20 in our pocket. So anyways, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377 here on this Monday. Rubination says Kirby in 16, O'Sullivan in 17. Here's my hot take, Rubination. I don't think Kirby Smart would have turned out much better, if better at all, than Will Muschamp did. I don't think so. Because here's the thing. Winning at Georgia is one thing, but he's a defensive-minded coach, man. I feel like he and Muschamp have similar beliefs. Maybe he would have been able to get out of his own way, but I'm just not convinced it would have been a successful thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from.
What's going on, man? How are you?
You're good, Chris. How about you?
I'm doing well, Justin. What's going on? I appreciate you asking.
Hey, Chris, I feel good today because the Gamecocks won the Ouija.
Yeah, man.
Because we faced the Ambush, but we fought through it, dude, Chris.
Yeah, that was a hell of a weekend, man. That was a hell of a weekend. Definitely fought through adversity. I mean, I think that's the thing that stands out more than anything is that this team was dead over the last 4 weeks and found a way to band together and fight back and show great resiliency and, just something you love to see. So a job well done. And now we're on to the Supers, and the Gamecocks are one of the last 16 teams left in college baseball. And that alone is a massive achievement for sure.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Chris, you got to look back there. You got to look back. When you face negative adversity, you got to know the negative, right, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be some negativity that comes when you face that level of adversity. And, listen, people were upset, and rightfully so. I mean, this team was playing bad baseball over a long stretch, but the hot, cold, hot theory stands true. And, South Carolina at least looked like that they've gotten hot once again. So we shall see. It looks like it's going to be the Florida Gators that the Gamecocks take on. So, going to be a really, really fun weekend in Gainesville. That's for sure.
Yeah, they beat Texas Tech today.
They are up 6-0 right now, and that game is going to the bottom of the 7th. So Texas Tech is down to their final 6 outs. So it looks like Florida's going to get the W.
Yeah, Chris, you would love to host a Super Ouija Club. You would love it, right, Chris?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, and having you can't overstate. You can't overstate how big of a deal it is to have that home field advantage. to have home field advantage in the postseason. I mean, it just means everything. It just means everything. So, yeah, I mean, you'd love to host, obviously, but I think it'll be a really cool matchup to see South kind of go on the road and take on Florida.
Oh yeah, Chris. I think that'd be good. You know, hey Chris, before I go, man. But the good news is Baby's out, so
Vandy's out. Yeah, that one really surprised me. But you know what? Their kryptonite all year was their kryptonite all year was offensively and their tendency to go cold swinging the sticks. And that's what happened. God, they lose to Xavier 2-1. We know a little something about Xavier baseball after losing the midweek. What was it last year? So, crazy that Vandy lost. But, dude, it's, again, terrible weekend to not love college baseball because what a weekend it was, man, all the upsets and the craziness. And that's what makes the college baseball postseason just such a blast.
Oh yeah, I agree. Cause and good news is at least we're not gonna see Baby win another third college World Series. That would not be good with me, you know, Chris.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Justin. That's right indeed, man. So I'd love to see this team get to Omaha as we all would, but you got to take care of business in Gainesville first. So we'll see if it happens.
Oh yeah, and Chris, do you like crab legs or lobster?
Do I like crab legs or lobster?
Yep.
Crab legs. Actually, lobster.
Yeah,
no, lobster. I would say lobster probably more. I like both, though.
Oh, yeah. I like lobster, too, Chris, because crab legs, they're hard to work with, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. They can be, yes. They definitely can be.
Yeah. Yeah, so, Chris, you're a big lobster person, huh?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm big lobster. I do like seafood. Admittedly, lobster or crab legs or whatever, it's not the first thing that I order when I go somewhere. But, no, I'm a fan of it for sure. I like it a lot. I love seafood, though. I love seafood.
Yeah, because if you ever go, May got some big lobsters down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they absolutely do, man. I want to try some soft shell crab. I've never had it before. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Hope you try it. Where's it located?
Yeah. Say it again.
Where's it located?
Where's what located?
Talk about you say you want to try.
Oh, the soft shell crab you're talking about. No, it's normally you just go down to the coast. The guys over at Carolina Cigars in Hilton Head, there's a lot of places down there that'll serve it, but it's a seasonal thing. It's only like a 2-3 week thing. So.
Oh, wow. That's awesome, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, you try it, man. But have a good one, Chris. Go Gamecocks.
Justin, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, too.
Yep. Great stuff from our friend Justin. Hey, guys, we're running a sale right now over at tsus.store. By the way, get your Yardcocks baseball merch, Beamer ball, Beamer Rattler, everything in between. Promo code Yardcocks for the next, 24 hours or so. We're actually running it till midnight tomorrow. So promo code Yardcocks, you get 15% off your entire purchase. Go check that out for sure. Just got an email, by the way, from our Rebel Rabbit friends. That's why I was just kind of I don't know. Was checking out something they sent over. So good stuff. Anyways, guys, hey, we're going to keep the conversation rolling. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Let's see. Will Hall said they said on the broadcast a while ago, Texas Tech is second in the country coming back from 6 down or more to win. Going to be a tall order now. Yeah, for sure. It's going to be tough in Gainesville for sure as well. Lynn Turner, the Vandy field is terrible. Why would they have carpet instead of dirt? They seem to like the turf. So, Travie, definitely got to keep Monty Lee on staff too. Recruit. Yeah, they've got to. That'd be a huge loss if you miss him or if you lose him. So, Austin Miller, the people who stayed at Campbell should have hosted a regional are looking silly now. Yeah, they are. Mark Ryan was one of them. So I'll be going on his show at 4:40 today. Offsides of Mark Ryan. I'll go on Mark Ryan's show at 4:40, and we're going to talk about this series and everything else. And our guy James put Mark Ryan on blast on social media, which Mark knows the risk when he comes on the airwaves and says something and makes a take and makes a claim. But obviously my slap dig of the weekend was just all the Campbell stands, man. The amount of people who were just riding Campbell so hard. Like listen, did South Carolina hosting them being at home, did that give them an advantage? I mean, sure, but you're telling me you think that playing in Fayetteville, playing in Fayetteville would have made a 9-run difference? I don't think so. Guys, that being said, we're going to jump into a quick break. On the other side, I want to continue to hear from you. More your questions, comments, calls, and more. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. Attention all Gamecocks seafood lovers. Are you tired of searching for the freshest seafood in town? Look no further than the Carolina Fish Market, your go-to destination for the finest and most flavorful seafood in the Carolinas and beyond. Introducing the new Carolina Seafood Subscription Box, a culinary delight delivered right to your doorstep. Each month, you'll receive a carefully curated selection of fresh local seafood sourced directly from the waters of the Carolinas and beyond. From succulent shrimp to mouth-watering grouper to flounder or tuna and everything in between, their subscription box brings the ocean's bounty straight to your Gamecock kitchen. What sets the Carolina Fish Market apart is their commitment to quality and sustainability. They work closely with local fishermen and women who use responsible fishing practices, ensuring that every bite you take supports both your taste buds and our precious marine ecosystems. They've even won Best Seafood 5 out of the last 8 years. But that's not all. They're offering free shipping to all TSUS listeners on every Carolina Seafood subscription box, making it even easier for you to indulge in the flavors of the coast. Experience the convenience and joy of having fresh seafood delivered right to your door without any of the hassle. Don't miss on this incredible opportunity to elevate your culinary adventures with the Carolina Fish Market's Carolina Seafood Subscription Box. Join the seafood enthusiasts across the nation who are savoring the taste of the Carolinas, one delectable bite at a time, and just in time for Father's Day. Visit their website today at carolinafishmarket.com. That's carolinafishmarket.com, and embark on a seafood journey like no other. Freshness, flavor, and convenience await you. Order your Carolina Seafood subscription box now and use the promo code SPURSUP, that's SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. Again, that's promo code SPURSUP, SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. The Carolina Fish Market, where taste meets the ocean.
Muscle Dougie, ho.
All right, guys, we're back here on this Monday, June the 5th, 2023, taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. 843-790-3377 as we react to everything that happened over the weekend. Most notably, the Gamecocks are super regional bound. How about it? Texas Tech is doing what they can to mount some sort of comeback. They are 3 for 23 with runners in scoring position this regional. My goodness. And you wonder why they're losing. Let's see. Where is the score? Brandon Neely is in for Florida. Top of the 8th. It's 6-0, but Texas Tech with a couple of runners on. So we will see. I've got the game on in my living room. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure y'all are probably watching it. Looks like Texas Tech just struck out looking, is what somebody said. LSU and Oregon State also going right now. Travis says, Campbell wanted that smoke, and they got all of it. That was awesome. Campbell wanted that smoke, Travis. Campbell wanted every bit of the smoke, and they got the smoke. They got that Camel pack smoke. Every bit of that smoke and then some they wanted, they got it. So, and I tell you this, I don't hate Campbell. I think Campbell's got a great program. I like my guys over at Orange and Black Podcast and Fully Caffeinated and the Campbell guys. They're cool. They're cool. But man, people were just riding Campbell hard. People were talking so much shit all week. All week. It's just crazy, man. Anyways, guys, 843-790-3377. Like I mentioned, we are rocking here on this Monday as we await to see who the Gamecocks will play in the Supers. Texas Tech second and third with 2 outs. Dribbler to first for the second out. We'll see if they can cash anything in here. It looks like Florida, though, probably going to hang on and win this ball game. Let's see. Did they get out of it? Did Florida get out of it? Based off what the BCC is telling me, GA just says, well, that was uneventful. So I'm assuming that Florida got out of it. Okay. Yep. Will Hall says Florida got out of the inning. Texas Tech left 2 on. Okay. So it's probably over. So Carolina, Florida in Gainesville will be the Super Regional most likely. Most likely. I highly doubt Texas Tech has got a 9th inning comeback in them. I highly, highly doubt it. Highly doubt it, folks. Highly doubt it. Brandon Neely got him out the jam. Travis says, get in that Gainesville mindset. It's a wrap, he says. He said it's a wrap. I mean, I hear you, Travis. I hear you. I think it's a wrap, too, so. Travis says, how are the Orange and Black podcast guys? They're cool, Travis. They're cool. They're cool guys for sure. Yeah, they're cool. We had a great conversation. I mean, they love their team. They love Campbell baseball. They weren't talking tons and tons of crap. They weren't. It was more so like just, dude, it was crazy. Mark Ryan, Brad Crawford, Kyle Peterson even. Lots of people were riding Campbell, and they were a sexy 2-seed pick. But, guys, I felt extremely confident. I try to get my picks and predictions right, believe it or not. I felt very, very confident going in the weekend. I did. I felt very confident going in the weekend. I thought South Carolina was in great position. I thought Carolina was in great position to take the series, and I just thought, honestly, like them being – I really just thought the Gamecocks being an SEC team and having gone through a SEC schedule, I really thought that was going to help them out, and most certainly it did. So, most certainly it did. So, I'm glad to see it, too. Glad to see it. That was an incredible weekend. Travis says, yeah, they played tough, didn't go down quietly, good squad. Offense was great. They just ran into pitching. Campbell was a good squad offensively, as good as any team Carolina's faced offensively. Just ran out of pitching. So. Let's see. Anyways, guys, appreciate you all tuning in here on this Monday. Keith asks, who is going to Gainesville? It's quite a hike from here, man. I already checked. It's like 6.5 hours. It's a hike, man. I gotta say, I think we'll stay back and watch the game in the Big Cock Club Discord. I gotta admit, I think that will be the move. I think that'll be the move, man. I gotta be frank. So we'll see. We'll see though. But no, it's we're not going to Gainesville. I'm not even front and say we're going to Gainesville. So would be fun. Would be a lot of fun. Be a lot of fun. Guys, we'll be having some fantastic crossover content for the Florida series. Going to be a blast. Really going to be. The content is going to be electric this week for sure. Going to be electric. So that video I posted, sucks to suck, Clem sucks. That video, that tweet has 85,000 views, man. Clemson losing. Good for business. Very good for business. Chase Floyd says, too bad you're banned in Gainesville as well. Yeah, I'm banned from every stadium, Chase. Isn't that crazy? Banned from every stadium. Oh, man. Love it. Love that. Lynn Turner says, Sully has his pitchers on a very short leash. I mean, he should, right? Win or go home. Win or go home, Lynn Turner. He absolutely should have him on a short leash. Absolutely should have him on that short leash. By the way, guys, in case you missed it, we're doing our countdown. Just 89 days. We've reached the 80s, by the way. We've reached the 80s. 89 days until Carolina kickoff. Gamecocks take on UNC. 89 days. Travie, back when it was 2-0, I was like, we have to answer back, and we did emphatically. Yeah, was anybody nervous when Campbell went up 2-0? It's okay. You can be honest. Was anybody nervous when it was 2-0 Campbell? I honestly didn't think so because I knew it'd be an offensive game. I just felt like I was like, South Carolina is going to be able to score against this Campbell pitching staff. Florida, Texas Tech, guys, taking place right now. The Gators are just a couple outs away from securing the Super Regional, as it is the, let's see, man on first, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Florida's 3 outs away. 3 outs away from a South Carolina, Florida Super Regional in Gainesville. Roman says, looked like they were going to put up more than 7, but we held it down. Yeah. Hey, I thought Nick Proctor did a great job as the bridge guy. I really did. I thought he did a fantastic job as that bridge guy. You knew Campbell was going to get theirs. You knew Campbell was going to swing it. It's why I picked a 12-8 final, and 16-7 ended up being the final score. So I thought it was going to be an offensive ball game, both teams swinging a stick and swinging a stick well. And sure enough, that's what happened. So let's see. Lynn Turner says, I don't start getting nervous to the 5th or 6th inning in a close game. I've been conditioned by the cardiac cocks, LOL. No, for sure, Lynn. Yeah, no point in getting nervous early, right? No point in getting nervous early. GA says in the Big Cock Club Discord, it's a hike, says the man who was taking pics at the swamp a few weeks ago. Well, GA, I know it's a hike because I drove back from the swamp to Greenville, and I was coming up through there from Tampa, Florida. So if I had not been in Tampa coming back up to Greenville, I would not have stopped by, but I couldn't help myself, man. I love seeing campuses, stadiums, different stadiums in the SEC and different stadiums in general. So I was like, I've never even seen the swamp in person. Never even seen the swamp in person. I had to check it out. Irting Irie, the Florida Texas Tech game is going on right now. So it's going on right now. Florida up 6-0. Bottom of the 8th. Gators are 3 outs away from advancing to the Supers. So probably before we get off of here, Florida will have won the game, and they will advance and set up South Carolina, Florida in the Super Regionals. So, which means, unfortunately, no Super Regional baseball at Founders Park, which is a shame. It's a shame. It is a shame. But anyways, all good. I'm excited, man. I think that's going to be an awesome matchup. I really do. Carolina, Florida on the Carolina, Florida on the diamond, man. There's been so many unique matchups in the postseason, and it's just going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So looking forward to it, and my goodness, what a statement it would be if the Gamecocks can take down the Gators again after sweeping them earlier in the season. Golly, I mean, because Florida wants revenge. Florida wants revenge, dude. Big Wash says, yo, got for the Supers, Gators or Cox? Big Wash, I'll let you know later in the week. Yeah, Jeff Gullidge. The next round is a best-of-3 game series. Yes, best-of-3 game series. Yep, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they will set the schedule and everything, television, all that good stuff. They'll set all that up probably by tomorrow, I would say. But, yes, it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. I think some of the Supers are actually Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but I doubt this one will be. So should be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, best-of-3 series, though. Yes, you're correct. And the Gamecocks, don't forget, swept the Florida Gators in the regular season. So, Big Wash, do you think we can conquer them without Jerzenbeck? I think so. I think we've got the arms. I mean, I think our arms are going to have to throw well. I don't think we have quite the depth we once had, but, yes, I think South Carolina can win this series. Yes. For me, I think it's what I look at most. I know everybody's going to have their eyes on the hitting. I just think I think the pitching as a whole, man. I think the pitching has got to step up to another level. I really do. I think the pitching's got to step up to another level. So, Will Hall, Chris, what's the word of the basketball commit? Yeah, in case you guys missed it, Gamecocks picked up a commitment on the hardwood today. Power forward Lance Piper, who is a 2025 prospect but is reclassifying and enrolling in 2024. Originally from New York. Honestly, man, I don't know a ton about this guy. I've never really heard about this guy. Yeah, so let's see. Let's see what his measurables are. Are we at top of the ninth? Gators have 1 out. They are 2 outs away. Lance Piper. PrepHoops.com says 6'6", out of Phelps School in Pennsylvania. So, Lamont Paris just continues to cook. Again, guys, Gators are 2 outs away. Their pitching has been dominant today. Yeah, it'll be a big series for a number of our guys, man, that are Florida natives. Undoubtedly, it'll be a big series. Let's see. Travie, Penn versus Southern Miss, winner to the Supers. Travie, you might recall I picked Penn to come out of that regional. Believe it or not, I picked Penn to come out of that regional. 2 outs. Gators are 1 out away. Gators are 1 out away from advancing to Supers. 1 out away. Let's see. Gators are 1 out away. End of 2 innings. Oregon State LSU tied 0-0. So is it Oregon State's got to beat LSU twice, correct? Drummer Swirls, maybe already asked, but does the extra day give us any advantage? I mean, maybe a little bit. I would not say they're going in the series. It's one of those things I'm looking at, like, this is the difference. You know what I mean? Like, but does it help Carolina? Sure, but I wouldn't really factor it in, Drummer, to be honest with you. Travis says, how interesting we swept and had a tough one with the Quakers. Dude, the Quakers were good. Quakers were good. Yes, and Arkansas has got to win too. They've got to beat TCU twice to advance. Yes. A lot of great baseball today. A lot of great baseball. Lot of great baseball on today. Florida is 1 out away from setting up Gamecocks and Gators in the Super Regional. Luke RJ tweeted, Will Sanders 2023 equals Matt Price 2010. Could he be that guy? Is it possible? Could he be that guy? Wouldn't that be something? Texas Tech with a runner on, 2 outs. So they're trying to stay alive in this one. Doing everything they can to stay alive. Man, think if you're Texas Tech, man. You get into the spot you want to be in. the winners bracket. You got to lose twice and you end up doing so. I mean, just what a freaking, oh, that hurts. That hurts. That hurts. That hurts. Guys, that being said, we'll jump into one final break, and on the other side, we'll close things out, and we'll close it out in style, taking more of your questions, comments, calls. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. Attention all Gamecocks seafood lovers. Are you tired of searching for the freshest seafood in town? Look no further than the Carolina Fish Market, your go-to destination for the finest and most flavorful seafood in the Carolinas and beyond. Introducing the new Carolina Seafood Subscription Box, a culinary delight delivered right to your doorstep. Each month, you'll receive a carefully curated selection of fresh local seafood sourced directly from the waters of the Carolinas and beyond. From succulent shrimp to mouth-watering grouper to flounder or tuna and everything in between, their subscription box brings the ocean's bounty straight to your Gamecock kitchen. What sets the Carolina Fish Market apart is their commitment to quality and sustainability. They work closely with local fishermen and women who use responsible fishing practices, ensuring that every bite you take supports both your taste buds and our precious marine ecosystems. They've even won Best Seafood 5 out of the last 8 years. But that's not all. They're offering free shipping to all TSUS listeners on every Carolina Seafood subscription box, making it even easier for you to indulge in the flavors of the coast. Experience the convenience and joy of having fresh seafood delivered right to your door without any of the hassle. Don't miss on this incredible opportunity to elevate your culinary adventures with the Carolina Fish Market's Carolina Seafood Subscription Box. Join the seafood enthusiasts across the nation who are savoring the taste of the Carolinas, one delectable bite at a time, and just in time for Father's Day. Visit their website today at carolinafishmarket.com. That's carolinafishmarket.com, and embark on a seafood journey like no other. Freshness, flavor, and convenience await you. Order your Carolina Seafood Subscription Box now and use the promo code SPURSUP, that's SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. Again, that's promo code SPURSUP, SPURSUP, for $10 off your first purchase. The Carolina Fish Market, where taste meets the ocean.
Marshall Dougie, ho.
All right, guys, we're back. Final 15 minutes or so here in the Daily Crow, taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. 843-790-3377. And it's officially set. Gamecocks and Gators will do battle in the Super Regionals after Florida takes down Texas Tech by a final score of 6-0. South Carolina, Florida in Gainesville. Unfortunately, no Super Regional Baseball in Columbia. Gamecocks and Gators will do battle at Condrone Ballpark in Gainesville. The last time these two teams played, it was April the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Gamecocks won game 1 in 7 innings, 13-3, then won game 2, 5-2, and game 3, 7-5. So we'll see. We'll see if South Carolina can duplicate that success and punch their ticket to Omaha. Going to be a great weekend. Man. I'm excited, pumped up for it. Two great teams, great baseball. Going to be a lot of fun to watch. So your thoughts, your reactions on South Carolina, Florida in the Supers. Luke RJ says Sanders needs to stay in a relief or closer role. He could be our Matt Price at 2010, but if we need him as a starter, I get that also. Hey, Luke RJ, good point. And again, Will Sanders has been great out of the bullpen in his career at South Carolina. He has been great. Travis says, go cook some Gators down in Swampland. Indeed. Will Hall says, I'd love nothing more for Sanders to be that guy, for sure. The stuff looked good, man. John Ember says, Coastal Carolina and Duke tonight also. Yeah, that'll be a great game. I'll be watching that. Looking forward to it. Great day to be a college baseball fan. That is for sure. Anybody making the trip to Gainesville? How about that? Carolina, Florida. Paul Feinbaum put this poll out, or just put this question. Would you rather your team go undefeated, but you're banned from watching them play, or you have free front row tickets to every game of a winless season? Guys, I cannot stress this enough. If you pick free front row tickets to a winless season, you are, I think Paul Feinbaum, the team that runs his Twitter account, they're just searching for something to, I don't know. This is a slow time for them because this isn't even a question. Who in their right mind would pick, I want to sit front and center to a winless season? If you pick that, you're such a selfish asshole. You are such a selfish asshole if you pick that. Bro, stay home and watch your team win every game. Like, how is that even a debate? It's crazy, man. Anyways, it's not a debate. That's the point. It's not a debate. Anyways, guys, just a little bit over 10 minutes. Gamecocks and Gators will do battle in the Super Regionals. Going to be a fun weekend, guys. We will be loaded up on the content. All week long. Yes, all 3 of the games are at Florida's ballpark. Yep. All 3 of the games are at Florida's ballpark. Yes, that's how it works. All 3 of the games are there. Again, Gamecocks swept the Gators the last time they played, but of course, that was in Columbia. So The Gators have advanced to the Supers to take on Carolina. 2 elite programs in a Super, man. A rematch of 2011 and the College World Series final. I don't think the two teams have met in the postseason since then. I don't think so. I know so. So 2011 was the last time. So there's history there, no doubt. There's history there. I mean, these two teams, man. Again, it's two great programs. I mean, every time they play each other, it's just fantastic, man. It's fantastic baseball. So looking forward to even more. Guys, again, join the Big Cock Club today, man. Patreon.com/Big Cock Club. Right after this, I'm going to cut some baseball on. We'll be watching baseball all day long. Having baseball on the Big Cock Club Discord, if nothing else, all day long. So you guys be sure. Squeeze Play is actually live right now. I didn't realize they'd be doing Squeeze Play today also. So the second we get off of here, I'm going to cut on Squeeze Play for all of those in the Big Cock Club Discord. We'll have that airing because there's so many good games, or there's just so many good games on today. Outside of that, guys, I mean, again, really excited. We are working right now with Carolina Ale House on the tour dates for the summer. And again, guys, depending on what happens this weekend, depending on how long this South Carolina run takes place in regards to the postseason run, we will start diving into slowly but surely our football content and getting into our preseason football content. And I'll tell you this, I just love the fact that, like, this time last year, we were diving in head first to the football content, right? We're getting to our top 5 lists and breaking everything down, top 5 this, top 5 that. So happy that we're not having to do that this year. So happy we're not. Because, of course, this time last year, baseball had the season it had, and we had just nothing going on. So feels great to still be talking baseball at this point and still be excited about baseball, and really looking forward to this weekend, man, in games. We'll take it on Florida. So I would assume we will know rather quickly what the schedule will be for the weekend. LSU, Oregon State, they are tied through 3 innings. LSU, Oregon State tied through 3 innings. Let's see. Travis says, make some Gator batter. Yeah, for sure. We're eating Gator this weekend. We are eating Gator this weekend, no doubt. Anyways, guys, just over 5 minutes to go here on this Monday. Dalton says, we also played Florida at home. We swept them. Florida-South Carolina rivalry seems to be going our way in baseball the last couple of years. So, yeah, guys, we get the Gators. Hey, it's Carolina against Mark Ryan. Carolina against in all kinds of weather. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So our conversation with Mark Ryan just got a new layer to it, folks. At 4:40, I'll chat with him, and yeah, we'll be excited to talk about it, man. Gamecocks and Gators, and I know Mark's not a huge baseball guy, but I'd be damned if he ain't this week. That would just seem crazy. That would seem crazy to me that he wouldn't be this week. That would seem crazy to me. Let's see. Luke RJ says Kentucky also looking to punch their ticket at the Supers. 3 wins in a row like Florida. Yeah, they got to take on Indiana. Yeah. Got to take on Indiana. We'll see if they can do it. We shall see if they can do it. Again, guys, I just want to say thank you all so much for your continued love and support. The love and support is really what stands out above all else, man. There's madness, there's chaos, and it's just one of those things where TSUS is as big as it's ever been, but we're not to a point where, I don't see all of the nonsense. And so sometimes like you see it in the comments and stuff like that. And I ignore it 99.9% of the time, but I'm a human being. So sometimes I see some things that I might mention or whatever. I don't make a habit out of that, but I just appreciate. And I mean, it is crazy. Like when you really think about it and boil it down to it, that, and again, it's why I have empathy for these people that are just on. And I'm talking beyond the Gamecock space, man. Like you all see it, right? I mean, we see it in politics. We see it in just everything, man. I mean, there's, you see people act out on social media the way they do. Guys, happy people don't do that. Happy people don't act that way on social media, man. Like they just don't. They just don't. You can't convince me otherwise. A happy person is not doing that. Those are sick people, man. These are sick people flooded with insecurities and just being, rotten to the core with just depression and, again, insecurity and anger and envy and jealousy and just all these negative emotions. And they go to social media and spew madness, chaos, because they need an outlet. They need somewhere to project it. They cannot keep it inside. And they cannot face it and they cannot live with themselves. So they need to project it on somebody else to make themselves feel just an ounce better about themselves. So I just say I appreciate those who recognize what is real and what is not, those who recognize what is true and what is not, those who recognize what is authentic and what is not, and rock with TSUS and rock with everything we do. And I appreciate y'all greatly. I appreciate y'all greatly, man. I can't say thank you enough. There's a reason. Let me just put it to you this way. There's a reason TSUS continues to grow, to thrive, to set new records and achieve new accomplishments and reach new heights that we have never reached before. There's a reason that's all happening. There's a reason that's all taking place. So thank you all so much. The series, I believe, will be Friday through Sunday. Daniel Gregory says, go Big Orange. Hey, South Carolina fans, I know we have a rivalry, but we can all say F. Clem sucks. We own them in every major sport. Indeed. Will Hall says, early weather report, Gainesville, 60% rain and PM thunderstorms Friday, 50% scattered thunderstorms Saturday. Will, it's Florida, man. Of course it's going to rain. Or, of course, there's rain in the forecast. I mean, it's hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, rain will subside. We'll see. But either way, guys, Gamecocks and Gators, super regional. It is set. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. Two quality clubs going at it, the rematch, if you will. Obviously would have loved Texas Tech to win to get the super in Columbia, but it's Florida earned it, man. I mean, they had to come out of the losers bracket and beat Tech twice, and they didn't just do it. They did it in dominating fashion, it seems. So it'll be a tough challenge. But, I think the familiarity makes a really cool storyline in this, and it'll be a fun one for sure. It'll be a fun one for sure. Guys, I appreciate it again. Appreciate y'all, the love, the support. Thank y'all so much again. Appreciate it. Craig Godwin says Sanders pitches game 3 if needed. Maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah, and Will Hall, they will announce the super schedule after today, or really just after the regionals are over. So when all those games conclude, then they will drop the super regional schedule for all of the games. Guys, that being said, we've hit 3 o'clock. Hey, thank you all so much for tuning in. Appreciate each and every single one of you for the continued love and support. That being said, hey, we got one last call. Let's see what this is.
Call from
What's going on? And they hang up. Okay, probably a troll. Nice job, my guy. Either way, hey, we're out of here. Appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great rest of your Monday, and we will talk to you all